Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And yes, it is Thursday. And you're going, but Thursday, Larry? How did we get Thursday and still somehow get an AMA? Well, wise guy. The reason why we got that was because I'm going to be gone for these next couple of days. That's the reason why I'm going to be gone for the next couple of days. And because I'm going to be gone for the next couple of days, I decided that I should do an AMA today. Otherwise, we're not going to get one because I will be away in California. So I will not be available to do a show Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I know some of you will cry. I get it. I'm going to feel sad too, but that's okay. So today I'm doing an AMA, and I wanted to bring up something. And there were so many things I want to bring up. I'm sure you guys will bring a bunch up too. A lot of this stuff is kind of happening all over the place. And one of the things I wanted to bring up is RFK Jr. Because I feel like I saw something recently on Breaking Points, which bothered me, and other people too are doing it too. There are a bunch of people who are kind of trying to attack or be angry or be mad at RFK Jr., saying he's not doing well or he's not doing this, not doing that. And it's bothering me because it's so obvious the opposite is true. Democrats are clearly struggling. And to be forward, even Trump is struggling in many ways too. This EpiPen thing is trashing him too. So yes, there's a lot of that that's happening. The guy I see who's actually getting, serious base hits, doubles, triples, right, home runs, hitting, keep getting hits is RFK Jr. And I want to show you something, this is happening now. They're now doing this literally every single week now. And this is how good it is. What the MAHA PAC, for those of you who know, MAHA PAC, is supporting RFK Jr. and what he's doing because there is a movement to try to somehow dismiss him. The Democrats want to dismiss him so they can keep attacking Trump. Makes sense. I mean, I disagree with it, but I understand it. Let's attack every aspect of Trump to include RFK Jr. because RFK Jr. is getting wins. And there's internal people in the Republican Party who are like, wait a minute. I don't like RFK Jr. getting these wins. I want these wins. I'm a little jelly. So you're having some people who are a little bit jelly, also in the Republican Party, also having it. But here is what is called the MAHA Minute. And it is actually very impressive.
The FDA commissioner just admitted that putting...
Oh, hold on. Let me go to the beginning, all the way to the beginning. Sorry.
Here's how we're making America healthier this week, one win at a time.
One win at a time.
I'm Sinclair. It's time for your MAHA Minute.
It is.
The FDA commissioner just admitted that putting 6-year-olds on Ozempic might not be the best idea.
Brilliant.
We've got to talk about school lunch programs, not just putting every 6-year-old on Ozempic. We've got to talk about...
Now, hold on. I just want you to hear this, if you could. This is them talking about school lunch programs and not just quick fixes. These are our kids talking about school lunch programs and not just quick fixes, not just pushing to get kids on Ozempic. Think about that. I said the word. I'm going to get canceled now. On the O thing, on that thing. I know I'm on YouTube. I got to talk baby talk. So yeah, not doing that. Where was that? During the Obama administration. Where was that during the Biden administration? Where was it during the first Trump administration? Where was it during the Bush administration? Nowhere. The closest we got was Michelle Obama talking about move around and stuff. That's the closest we got.
About environmental exposures and chemicals in the food.
He even said we need to start focusing on nutrition-based healthcare. Finally, someone who gets it. Meanwhile, Steak and Shake is beefing up, literally. Their new signage says 100% beef tallow plus grass-fed and Wagyu options. And right there in bold.
And note what it says. Options. If you like Wagyu, good for you. If you like beef tallow, you now have more options now. That has become the norm now. And you might go, well, Larry, I don't care about that stuff. You don't have to have it. And there's the glory. Not required. There's the glory. Larry, I don't care about tallow. Then don't have tallow, right? No one's forcing you. And that's the key.
Print, they wrote, thank you, MAHA. Well, you're welcome, America. Congressman Thomas Massey says he's coming for Big Pharma.
Yeah, Massey, the most libertarian candidate in the entire Congress, hands down, not even close, the most libertarian, period. He's on board here. Come on, guys. Don't tell me we're not winning.
He introduced a new bill to repeal the liability shield for COVID vaccine injuries.
Liability shields. Other people in the MAHA movement are fighting for that too. I'm going to show you that in a second.
Huge start for accountability. Over in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene just introduced the Clear Skies Act. This would ban most forms of
MTG. Okay. I have not always been a fan of MTG. True. I've not always been a fan. However, I always try to give credit where credit is due. And this is one of them. We are creating something which I talk about all the time. And libertarians should be open to this concept. Single issue coalitions. I am not saying MTG is libertarian. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is single issue coalitions. I'm not even saying RFK Jr. is libertarian. I'm saying Thomas Max is libertarian. I am saying that, and come at me. I am saying that. But single issue coalitions happening right now.
Geoengineering. No more, oops, we fogged the atmosphere experiments. And here's the cherry on top. 40 ice cream brands have officially agreed to remove artificial dyes by 2027.
There we go.
Finally, we can enjoy a summer swirl without the side of Red 40. And time's up for your MAHA Minute. Keeping it real, keeping it healthy. Thanks for tuning in.
That's every single week. That happens every single week. Yeah. So he's failing. Is that he's failing? Accountability, liability shields, and here is as one more I want to show you. This is This is not directly off you, but it's right in the same world, same thing happening. The wonderful Dr. Alexandra Munoz. She is actually up there, literally right now, trying to stop big ag, kind of big everything from literally trying to become basically immune from all liability.
Pesticide immunity. All right, everyone, it's a red alert situation. The federal pesticide immunity provision, section 453 of the Federal Interior Appropriations Bill, is going to be heard on Tuesday, July 22nd in the Appropriations Committee.
That was a couple days ago, but that's okay.
In the House. This is going to be our only chance to have an amendment that removes this provision from the bill before it goes to the House floor, where it will likely pass.
Now, she is working with people from the MAHA PAC, MAHA again, down in D.C. right now, trying to stop this, right? Again, trying to do this yet again. It drives me crazy that this is happening now, right? And where are Democrats? Where are Republicans? It's MAHA doing this. It's people who are either in or around the MAHA movement. It is people with single issue coalitions. There's a lot of people who support Dr. Munoz, and they're Democrats, and they support her. Why? Single issue coalitions. What she would like to do is that if you create something that's toxic, that you don't just go, well, too bad, you got screwed, oh well. But if you do something if you create some toxicity, that you are accountable. That's what she's doing.
You need to stop what you're doing. You need to understand what's going on here, because this provision is going to block funding that updates labels to accurately warn people about the health risks of these products.
No, she didn't say, at no point did she say ban. She didn't say that. What is she looking at? Informed consent. Letting people know. Informed consent. If you say, you know what? I want to kill all my weeds. I don't care if this weed killer might get me cancer or whatever. I want to kill my weeds. Gamble on cancer. I would like you not to, but that's just my opinion. I don't decide what you gamble on. If you ask my opinion, I'll tell you, please don't do that. But I don't decide that. She's saying has to have a label. Now, these people putting these chemicals, they're actually, the rules aren't saying you can't put the chemicals in. Not saying that. They're not saying you can't sell these chemicals. Not saying that. They're saying you have to let people know that this is probably a carcinogen. Now, to be forward, I know she's super attractive. I mean, she's super hot. She is. However, doesn't matter. She's brilliant. She's a doctor, a toxicologist who actually goes through this stuff and knows what she's talking about and tells people what she's talking about. She actually has stopped this in North Carolina. and someplace else. Tennessee, yes. And now she's in DC doing this. So come on, guys. This is what's happening with MAHA.
And it's effectively going to give this industry immunity for over 57,000 products that contain things that we know are toxins.
Yes. This right here is MAHA winning. Now, you might go, Larry, that sounds great. Everything's amazing. I like it. It's awesome. Absolutely. So if someone wants to contact her, you can head out. She is at AM Toxicology on Twitter. Yes, she's actually could use help. She's down by where you are, P. She's in DC right now. You can let her go see her if you want to. She is in your area. You can go see her if you want to. So absolutely. But let me grab this. This part, this bothered me. So now I'm talking about a piece that bothered me. And I have been unhappy recently with breaking points. Right? Breaking points. I've been unhappy with breaking points recently. Since Sagar went away and it basically Crystal just dominated the show for like a month or whatever, or however long it was, 2 months, just dominated. And I was like, wow, this show is just becoming unwatchable. Then Sagar came back and I went, okay, good. Now Sagar balanced the show out. I don't want it to be the Sagar show. I want it to be a balanced show. And Sagar came back weaker than ever. And I'm like, wow, is he just going to be like Emily now? Is that what you're going to do? He came back weaker than ever. And now he's just, I don't know what happened to him. Maybe marriage and babies. I don't know. Maybe that, I don't know. Lost some of the, I don't know. Whatever. All I'm saying is, I don't know what happened to him. Let me show you this one part. He decided to do an entire segment to literally, he decided to do an entire segment just to take a steaming dump on top of RFK Jr.
He is, and I'm going to get his full bio correct, PhD in nutritional science, co-founder of the Carbon Diet Coach Nutrition Coaching.
So he's like, I have a guy who's got a PhD, so now I can take a dump on RFK Jr.
Carbon, by the way, product that I use. And Lane, you and I go way back, but for our purposes here, what I wanted to have you on to the show for is to break down all of this discussion that's bubbling up right now to the highest levels of the U.S. government around seed oil. So
now, here is why I'm bothered by this. You may like seed oils. You may hate them, whatever the case may be. I'm not mad at you if you want to have seed oils. I'm not. You guys know me by now. I'm not. What I am upset about is that as soon as you start talking about it, I got guys like this who are independent, who are supposed to be helping, who are going to start taking a dump on everything. We're having the conversations now. Let's have it. What are we doing? Right? And he's like, no, it's
more
bad.
Recently, and cane sugar Coke as well. So let's put this up here on the screen. This is the latest quote, MAHA victory from Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary Kennedy, endorsing here Steak and Shake. He's saying, starting August 1st, Steak and Shake will offer Coca-Cola with real cane sugar in glass bottles.
Now, hold on. Here again, one more time. Not switching to only offering Coca-Cola with real cane sugar in glass bottles. What does that mean? If you want it, you can have it. If you don't care, nothing changes, right? If you're like, I don't care about any of this stuff, live your life. Nothing changes for you. You do not have to have it. You don't at all. But now, if you do care about that, and I know many people who do, if you care about Coca-Cola in a glass bottle, you can now get it. Why are we taking a dump on this? Why are we fighting this? This is just nothing but wins. Some people, like myself included, care a lot about their health and what I put in my body. I care a lot about it. So I could get something that I might want other than, like, look, I don't want corn syrup in my body at all. I don't. You may not care. Have it.
America deserves the best. They're branding themselves Make America Healthy Again, RFK Jr.'s signature slogan. They previously, this fast food chain had replaced, quote, seed oils with...
Yep. Cheyenne says, what does that mean? $6 for the Coke in a glass bottle? Maybe. But again, Cheyenne, if you care, pay the $6 or don't go to Shake Shack. Steak and Shake. But if you care, if you don't care, have your regular Coke. That's the point. Look, I know you guys made me cry over this last week when you actually made me look at how much money I spent on food. Eating healthy is often expensive. Yes. You decide, Chan, you decide. Where do you want to spend your money? Do you like Steak and Shake? I don't know if you even like that place, but if you like it, do you want the Coke? You can get it.
beef tallow fries, presenting themselves as a healthier option. Now, since you are a PhD in nutrition science, you've given hours of content, you've reviewed all of the data, I just want you to break down at a nutritional science level whether this is a, quote, healthier option for people to be drinking cane sugar Coke as opposed to high fructose corn syrup.
And if you've noticed, we've had sugar in the past, a lot of it. We've eaten sugar for years. Were we heavy? When did we start getting heavier? When we started subsidizing corn syrup and putting corn syrup in everything. That's when they got cheaper, plastic got cheaper, everything got cheaper, and we got bigger as a country. Maybe not you individually, but yes, 100%. Yes, 100%.
Syrup Coke, having fries that are cooked in beef tallow versus having fries that are cooked in seed oils.
So you made a good point, which is it healthy compared to?
Yeah.
Because that's really what we want to know.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Is it healthy compared to? Correct. Yes.
And first off, I want to say that I'm glad that people in U.S. government are taking an interest in health and nutrition and promoting health-promoting behaviors.
Like that.
Unfortunately, I think people's personal biases are really getting in the way here. And this is something I think with RFK is going on, is known as a naturalistic fallacy, which is if something occurs in nature, it must be better for us. And in some cases, that's
okay. That's not what he's saying at all. What he's saying, what everybody who understands how food works in general, is there anybody who would say, it is better in general? Of course, there are exceptions. Is it better in general to have food that is more closer to nature or food that is highly processed? Now, are there exceptions? Of course, there are exceptions. But overall, does that not make sense? Is that not true? It is. He's doing exactly the worst thing. What he's doing is saying, oh, see, what they're saying is everything natural. No. He's straw manning. And that's what drives me crazy. No one is saying everything natural is good. No one's saying that. We're saying overall, food that is natural is going to be better than highly processed, or what we call ultra processed. That's 100% true, demonstrably true. This guy is straw manning because he wants to ship an RFK Jr. and make some cash.
true. But in some cases, we have plenty of man-made things. Take whey protein, for example, which is an ultra-processed food, but has been shown to reduce levels of inflammation, improve glucose control.
Okay, hold on. What he just said. Meanwhile, behind him is literally whey protein that he sells. Just saying. Just be clear. I sell stuff too. I sell civil. It's right here. I'm not pretending. He's like, well, whey protein is good. Yeah, all protein is good and does what he just said. If you had, chopped meat, that would also do what he just said. If you had eggs, that would also do what he said. He's like, well, whey protein is ultra processed and it's good. Yes, and you could just instead have hamburger if you wanted to, or eggs or chicken. You could have any of those things. He is straw manning on purpose. He's full of shit. Shame on Sagar for doing this. Shame on Breaking Points for doing this. RFK Jr. is giving us more choice, healthier choices, not forcing people. And he's still doing this. Why? Because they've decided that everything Trump does is evil. So RFK Jr. is next to Trump. RFK Jr. is now evil.
Improve, I even think, levels of liver fat and basically metabolic health. So I think we got to be careful with lumping things into big categories. Now, when it comes to replacing high fructose corn syrup,
Joel's like, but Larry, PhD. True. You're right. Let me shut up. He is obviously correct. I should allow him to straw man. I'm sorry, Joel.
Sweetened beverages with cane sugar. Again, the only reason I can think that people would think this is healthier is because cane sugar is natural.
Yeah.
Biochemically, there is very little difference between cane sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Cane sugar.
Okay. Now, see. All right. I'm not going to get triggered, Mike. I'm not going to. I'm just going to talk. I'm going to trigger. When you eat cane sugar or when you eat corn syrup, they both turn into sugar in your body. That's true. Also, when you eat a potato, same thing happens. When you eat a carrot, similar things happen, right? When you eat rice, the same thing happens. When you eat bread, the same thing happens, right? That happens with everything you eat that is sugar. So is he saying there is no difference between a candy bar and bread. No difference between spaghetti and a Snickers bar. That's what he's trying to say. Now, don't get me wrong. Both do turn to sugar. But if I had, say, I don't know, steak, some rice, and broccoli, or if I had steak, 3 Snickers bars, and some broccoli, the same, according to him, yes, he is full of shit. This is embarrassment.
Is sucrose, and sucrose is 50% is a disaccharide, which is a glucose molecule linked to a fructose molecule. So 50-50. High fructose corn syrup is 55% fructose and 45% glucose. So if
yes, so it's worse. And you just said which one is better compared to. So it's better by about 5 or 10%. That's true. It is better. It is a better option. He's admitting it right now.
If you're telling me that a 5% difference in fructose content is somehow going to change our nation's health, I would say that you're basically putting your energy into stuff that is not going to make a...
So what is your answer? None. There are, give or take, 100 million overweight Americans, give or take in that area. 5% change is 5 million Americans. I think 5% is a big deal. That's 5 million Americans, 5 million kids, 5 million moms, 5 million dads, 5 million uncles, 5 million grandparents on diabetes, having diabetes, dying in their 60s instead of dying in their 90s. Yeah. Why would you say that? No one is saying, well, now that Steak and Shake or whatever has cane sugar, now all our problems are solved. That's what he said. He is strawmanning everything. Nobody said, oh, now, shish, it's the end. We're all skinny. Why? Well, Steak and Shake now has tallow fries. Now we're all skinny. Nobody said that. Everything he's saying is absolute horseshit. He's just, that's what a straw man is, right? For those of you who don't know, I know many of you do, I use it all the time. Straw manning is when you say something, I then go to some length and say something you never said, and then knock that down. Well, that's not what you said. Nobody said that. Listen to what he says again.
So if you're telling me that a 5% difference in fructose content is somehow going to change our nation's health.
Nobody said that. That's the straw man. He sets up this straw man that nobody said. You cannot find anywhere someone said 5%, now everything's changed. No, he's saying that so he can knock it down to make it seem crappy. And Saga's like, I'm a journalist. You a journalist, knucklehead? Then tell him he's straw manning you then. If you're a journalist, no. You're chatting with your friends so you can take a stump on RFK, a dump on RFK Jr.
I would say that you're basically putting your energy into stuff that is not going to make a darn bit of difference.
Instead, just buy his protein, which is magical.
And I'm looking at right now dozens of randomized control trials in humans where when they substitute high fructose corn syrup in a 1-to-1 ratio with other sugars, there's 0 outcomes.
No difference in having sugar and spaghetti. It's, you know what? You were thinking that you were going to go to an Italian restaurant. You were thinking that. And I know Phil was thinking that. So I'm going to go to an Italian restaurant. I'm going to have some good spaghetti. Stupid Phil. This guy here tell you what's up. Just get a couple Snickers. No difference. Get a couple Snickers, maybe some Reese's Pieces. You'll be fine. You'll be, he just said it. No difference. I'm going to stop now or I'm going to start screaming at everybody. So I'm just going to stop before I start yelling. And then Mike will get mad at me and tell me to stop getting triggered. So yeah, but the entire thing is that. The entire thing is just him doing that. Let me be very clear. RFK Jr. is winning. That's why they're mad. MAHA is winning. That's why they're mad. Now, you might say, Larry, I don't care about MAHA. And I know some of you don't care. Some of you, I get it. I'm not mad at you for that. What I'm saying is when you see something working, you should then recognize it and say, how do I get my people to have that same thing? How do I get my people to have that same success? That's what you should be looking at. Not just that. If you're libertarian, as I am, note, they're making changes without mandating. That's the key. What I want is mandating. That's what I want is to not mandate. I don't want mandating, right? And that's the piece. If you want an option, take an option. That's all I'm saying. It's choices. Yes. Amber says, RFK has no medical experience or training. He was addicted to injecting heroin for 14 years. His second wife unallowed. That's true. After finding his secret journal, do you think more? Yes, that's true. So this right here is the other thing I said was straw manning. This here is dismissing, right? What Amber's doing is just dismissing. RFK Jr. can't be right because he doesn't have this and because he was an addict. So he can't be right, right? This also is just, this is stuff that this is very similar to straw manning, but it's just dismissing. Amber obviously comes from the left. Amber, I know you come often. I'm glad you're still here. Amber obviously comes from the left because remember, the left will dismiss, the right distracts. The left dismisses, the right distracts. She's dismissing. So of course he's wrong, right? This guy, to Joel's point, PhD, he must be right. Everything you said, Amber, is correct, no doubt. But what he has done, what RFK has done more than most doctors, is he has sued this industry more than any doctor. So he has been in court talking about this all the time. He's done this more than any people have done. And being an addict actually means he knows what addiction is like. I've known many addicts who have done amazing things, many things. So yeah, that's an issue. So I get what you're saying, Amber. I'm not denying it. You are correct. But none of that makes him right or wrong, right? None of that makes him right or wrong. Is he correct? Is it a good idea to give people options? Yes, it is, whether he's an addict or not. And if you've listened to the show or watched me, I'm not mad at addicts. My mom was an addict. There's lots of addicts who do all types of things. My mom loved me and she was an addict. And she was able to be clean her last 30 years of her life, 20, 30 years of her life. She's able to be clean. And when she passed, she was not, she was absolutely clean for decades. RFK Jr. now was clean, has been for decades. And I would actually say that it's more impressive than many people when you can be an addict, get clean, and then do stuff that other people have done. Don't get me wrong. In the case of RFK Jr., he's very privileged. So of course it helps. More money, right? Family connections does help. Agreed, but still hard. And my mom wasn't privileged anyway. She was an immigrant. She was in no way privileged, and she was able to do it. So yeah. Anyway, my point being, I get what you're saying. You're not wrong, but it doesn't change anything. It's just what you're doing, Amber, is going, I'm mad. Okay. But is MAHA not winning? It is winning. Is he not making changes? He is. What I would ask you, Amber, is look at your own issues that you care about that may not be moving forward the way you'd want them to move forward. And then look at the way, meaning the style that RFK Jr. moved it forward. How can your team, in whatever way you want to move forward, how can they copy that so that you can get what you want pushed forward, whatever that is? That's the message here that we should be looking at. That's the actual message. So thank you for posting that. I appreciate it. Over on Instagram, Donald Lee Vicky says, I love Larry. I wish New Yorkers had elected him instead of the woke radical left wing. True. I wish he'd been elected governor. Yes. Governor Larry, much better than radical censored one we have now. True. She's correct completely. Thank you, Vicky. Absolutely accurate. Keep talking. Good stuff. That is exactly correct. All right. So we got past that piece here. If I could. Duke of Hex, thank you for the $10, my friend. Italians eat sugary breakfast, pastas, processed meats, and lots of bread. Yet they're less obese than Americans and live 10 years longer on average. American food is poison, pure and simple. Duke, I don't have specific data on that. I have a couple of facts and so much anecdotal evidence. So I'm going to tell you where it comes from. If you want to dismiss me, because I don't have all the details, you can, but I'm going to give you these two things. Number one, all the things that RFK Jr. is putting now in our food to change and shift in our food is stuff Europeans have been doing for years. For years. So that's one. Number two, I hear all the time. Now, again, no evidence, no actual evidence. If you think I'm full of it, you can if you want to. You can insult me if you want to. And maybe we'll probably, if I say this, we'll pop up in the comments and tell me this. They go to Europe, eat the same type of food they eat in America, don't feel bloated, don't have trouble in the bathroom, nothing. Feel good. Maybe even lose weight. Come back to America, feel terrible. Yes. Now, here's what I know. Here's what I personally. I have changed the way I eat many times. You guys who know me know I've been keto for 15 years, but I wasn't always clean keto. I was just keto. I've become cleaner keto as I've gotten older, as I've learned more about food, decided where to put my money. You know, there was still a time when I was sitting there thinking that it was more important for me to buy a cool watch than it was to buy better food, right? So I had to change my mindset on top of it. What was more important to me? So I can tell the difference now. And people who know me, who've been around me, know that from 2018, 8 years ago, 2016, when I was trying to become the VP, 9 years ago, know that even I've been older, I have the same energy level. It hasn't changed. If anything, I have more. People have seen me. If anything, I have more. I still keep going. Why? I've changed how I eat. And I do not eat the standard American diet at all. I do not eat the standard American diet. It is very rare I eat any kind of fast food, very rare I eat processed food, very rare. The only time I eat stuff that's not that isn't what I would consider the highest quality food I can get is when I'm out on the road. And even then, I stay keto. I'm not always clean keto when I'm on the road, but I'm even keto there. People who've seen me when I eat, I am keto. Doesn't matter every single time. So I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. I'm with you, which is why I'm very happy that people are having this conversation, because most Americans don't understand, don't know, or follow their doctors. And most doctors are not saying the right stuff. They're just not. So yeah, I appreciate that tremendously. Duke, thank you for that. So with that in mind, guys, I know that you guys see me out. That one guy, he was just promoting the protein that he's talking, but he wasn't promoting. He was just saying how good whey protein is. I'm far more obvious than that. Hawking Civil. Why? Because I am part of Civil. Yes, my show last night was on Civil only. Every Wednesday night, you get a Civil show just from me, 7 p.m. So what else is on Civil besides that? I mean, not that anything else has to be on Civil. I'm enough, clearly. But even though I am absolutely enough of that, and I am, but even though I am all that matters, there are other things that are good on Civil too. And this one is literally talking about doctors. The interview from this year, from this year, with a doctor who's talking about how to get government out of healthcare and what's happened in healthcare. And listen to what this guy is saying.
This was actually a very important turning point in the patient-doctor relationship. You know, nowadays, I even mentioned this in the beginning of my book, we doctors have it drilled into us from the first day of medical school that you need to respect patient autonomy. And, you know, you need to give them truly informed consent, give them the alternatives, the risks, the benefits. And if they decide against your better advice that they don't want to listen to you, you just have to respect that. It's their body. Okay.
Did you not hear that? That's what's supposed to happen. That's not happening with government. When government gets in, no, it's not. It's the government's choice. They decide. This is what you're seeing on Civil. These are the conversations you can have. Nick Gillespie interviews this guy and has real questions. What's going on? What are you saying? What are you thinking? And you can go back and forth. This is what Civil provides. This is what Civil does.
But that's actually a relatively new development. Actually, it's only about when I graduated medical school is when it started to become pretty standard. It was typical that the doctors were very paternalistic. They felt, I know more than you. They would keep information from the patient because.
And that's how it's going back because government is telling them to. Keeping information away from people. It's misinformation. Look, is it possible you make a mistake? Yes, but it's your life. You get to make that mistake if you want to, or do the right thing, whatever it is. It's your choice, not the government's choice. You want to have a conversation, have with you and the family and the people who you love. That's what you should be doing. The doctor can give you all the advice possible and should give you all the advice possible. But the decision is not the doctor's or the government's, it's yours. Civil talks about that. Civil, C-I-V-L, that's CIVL.com. When you sign up, upper right-hand corner, a little green grayed up part, click that piece, put in Larry, L-A-R-R-Y, 50% off, $25 for 1 year. Come on now. And you get me on Wednesdays. Come on. How good is that? Every single show, I show you something cool on Civil, and I don't seem to ever run out, do I? Because there's so much cool stuff. It's cooler than Netflix, and I'm on it. Don't forget I'm on it. That's the most important part of the whole thing. Don't forget that. Remember that, civil.com, code L-A-R-R-Y, Larry, my name, the cool name. So yeah, all right, let me keep going through here if I could. Phil says, what about walking? Like NYC and not walking? What about walking like NYC and not walking? Not sure where you're going with that one. What about walking like in? That I walk, I guess. I don't know. I walk all the time, right? I walk all I went and got a haircut today. I walked to my barber, right? I want to go do things. I walk everywhere. I meet people on the street. Yes, like I meet people on the street. I still talk to people in my neighborhood. Yeah, I walk often. My daughters walk all the time, right? You can, where I live, you can walk to a Target. Yes, you can walk to a CVS. You can walk to, where I live, you can walk to at least, I'm not joking, at least 25 restaurants, if not 50. You just walk to different restaurants, all different types. You can walk to the subway, walk to the bus. You can walk anywhere you need to walk to. This is where I live. It's very walk. It's a neighborhood. It's very walkable, right? I walk to my dentist. It doesn't matter. I walk wherever I got to walk. I walk. I walk to my doctor. I go to doctors once every 4 years, but I walk there. When I go there, I just walk to my doctor. Doesn't matter. I walk wherever I want to go. You can walk to Popeyes if you want to. You like Popeyes. You can walk to Starbucks. Just walk there, get there and come back. It's so easy. So yes, it is. I happen to like that lifestyle. I know some people don't. One of the reasons why I live in a city is because I do like that lifestyle. I know not everyone does. Again, I'm not mad at you. Live the way you want to live. This is just one of them. So yes. All right. Let me grab, if I could, I know I showed you guys that one. I want to grab some more comments. It's supposed to be an AMA, but I'm so busy yapping because I'm all pissed. Kim, I knew I would trigger you, Kim. I knew I would. I was like, this will get Kim. I literally was thinking that when I put it together. I'm not even joking. So I'm glad you're here. I had a feeling this would trigger you. So yeah. So Mike's always mad if I get triggered, but I'm happy if I trigger you. So Kim says, if they're picking on RFK, they're leaving someone else alone. Maybe. I'm not sure about that. My worry is what Trump has shown us earlier this year is you can flood the zone and just throw everything out there and hope stuff gets just lost. And I think this will be part of it. I'm not sure. Mike says, Mike is in the house, Mike Voss. Dems consider RFK a traitor. Yes. TDS is real. Yes. That combination means nothing RFK does will ever be good enough. True. No lies detected. Anything he touches must be deemed, even if demeaned, even if the left supports the idea. No lies detected on that entire thing. 100% correct, Mike. I agree. And it drives me crazy because if he had stayed a Democrat, let's go down a crazy road. The Democrats actually, in my fantasy MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe world, other dimension, the Democrats actually care about democracy. I know that. Stay with me on my fantasy, Mike. In my fantasy world, another world, maybe Kang is involved. I don't know. There's another world where the Democratic Party actually believes in democracy and goes, you know what? We're going to have an actual primary, and we're not just going to take a dump on Bernie. We're not going to take a dump on RFK Jr., and we're going to recognize that Biden should not be president anymore, and we're using the auto pen, and we're going to have an actual primary. I know you're laughing, but in my world, we do this. This happens in this ultimate universe. RFK Jr. probably stays Democrat. And then this alternate universe, Democrats get an actual decent candidate, and they beat Trump in this alternate universe. And RFK Jr. now comes aboard in this alternate universe and now is doing HHS and doing exactly the same thing. Democrats would love him. And you know I'm right, Mike, because you just said it. We're both right. Democrats would love him now. In my alternate universe, where the Democrats had a decent candidate and beat Trump, and RFK Jr. becomes head of HHS, Democrats are loving every minute, eating it up, loving it. It's all awesome. Democrats hate it because he's attached to Trump. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. So, yes. All righty. Let's see here. All righty. P says, at Sharpe, looking forward to the show a lot, Larry. As always, thank you for holding a torch up so high that we can shine a light on the chaos and help people get through it. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes. Vivek says, do you think RFK Jr. and HHS can save Trump and Republicans from EpiPen and 411 controversy? Save, no. Help, yes. Look, I think the biggest problem, and this is my view, I know some of you disagree, EpiPen is the biggest right now thing over Trump. It was the wars. The wars still are affecting him. Right now, when it comes to the economy, the jury is still out on Trump. I don't think his deals are coming in, but again, this is the problem Trump's done again. He has absolutely communicated poorly on this. He said, we're going to have it all in 90 days, whatever he said. And all the same, his boisterous, prideful talk has yet again made him put his foot in his mouth. His deals are coming through now. Good. I'm happy. What will they do? I don't know. I'm hoping they'll be good. They may or may not be. I don't know, but they look nice. Let's hope they work, right? I'd like the economy to do well. I hope he's right, and I hope it works. I am concerned, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that piece. So we're going to know by next year whether or not the economy is working or not. We're going to know by next year. And so maybe. So that's why economy is out there. The wars are still going on. This is not going well for him on the wars. He was supposed to end this, and he hasn't. And again, he put his foot in his mouth. We're going to knock it out in 24 hours. Neither one's has ended yet. The ceasefire with Iran is tentative, and they're still fighting in Gaza. Ukraine and Russia still fighting. He hasn't changed that. So you're right. That's a problem. But I think EpiPen is the worst. I think that's the worst. And the reason is, again, his failure in communication. What's weird is Trump usually isn't that bad at communication when it comes to the country. He tends to know the country and do the right spin. He tends to be pretty good at this. This time, the only people he's keeping are the hardcore Trump supporters. Those people are still with him. They have not left him. The hardcore Trump supporters have not left him. But remember, this is a coalition, Vivek. He put together a coalition based upon him. That coalition is not doing well right now. So, and EpiPen is not helping at all. Massey going against him. MTG going against him. Not going well at all. And here's the worst part. My gut says, and I don't know this, I'm telling you my gut only. I have no evidence, so take it for whatever you want. My gut says he's worried about some bad stuff being in the files. Now, we all knew he was in the files. We all knew that. That wasn't the issue. The issue is he doing something with the little ones? That's the only issue. We all know he was in the files. He used to hang out with him. He hung out with EpiPen. He hung out with him. They were friends, whatever. He probably had ladies of the evening, which, again, I don't care about. As long as you're consenting and adult, I'm good. Do you? And America doesn't care either. But my worry is that either he did something or what my brain goes to, other people who are important to him did something with the little ones. That is what I think might have happened. Like he saw and like, damn, I need these guys. And they did that. Or that guy over there. Oh, now what? Now I'm going to have to answer questions on this. This guy, that's what I think probably is that someone who's close to him or who he needs or maybe overseas. I don't know. That's what my gut says. But here's the problem, Vivek. While I think that is true, that someone close to him or somebody or people close to him have done some bad stuff, it's looking like he did now. No evidence he did. I don't know what he did. I don't think he did. But it's not looking good. As the cover-up goes deeper, now people go, wait a minute. Why aren't you? Did you do something? That starts popping up. His communication is failing horribly here. It just is. It's failing horribly. So, yeah. Anyway, Rick says, Reason Roundtable had someone who spent more than an hour dismissing MAHA. I usually agree and align with Reason, but not for that duration of that. I often don't agree with Reason. I'd be very fair with you. I'm glad they were uncivil, but I often don't. I have had a very varied relationship with Reason. Some people know. I've been trying to kind of patch things up because we kind of are on the same page. But sometimes the problem with Reason is they sometimes just take the corporate line too much. They become Republicans sometimes, like almost like establishment almost. They're too establishment to me. That's the issue. That's the issue. And sometimes they show it. And I hate when they do. And this is one of them. The problem is MAHA is not establishment. So if you're establishment, of course you attack MAHA. Of course you do. Right? Because it's anti-establishment. So of course you do. Now again, whether you agree with it or not, it is anti-establishment, whether you agree with the MAHA stuff or not. Right? So yeah. Anyway. Alrighty. Let's see. Kim says, thank you, Peace Logic, for helping RFK. Yes. Yeah. I'm Peace is a great guy. 100%. Rick, I know they can't blame RFK Jr. for the measles outbreak now, but I also thought that will stop them. Oh, they blame him for everything. It's all his fault. Of course. It's all his fault. 100%. Yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go here. Yeah, Mike agrees with me, Vivek. He says those different issues in RFK is nowhere near as important or interesting. True. I don't think he can save it. I think, can he help to make it nice? Yeah. And I think Trump's doing it. Trump is showing RFK Jr. as one of his successes. Look, and it's nice. I think it's helpful, but I think Mike is correct. It's not going to make or break him. Right now, if you look at Trump, he is in a spot where in these next 6 months, maybe give or take a year, I'm not sure about that, give or take, he is either going to, if things go like he says they're going to go, if they do, he is going to be looked upon as a great president, one of the greatest. I'm not joking. If things go as he says, because he's saying a lot. If he's right, if he's wrong, his legacy is destroyed. He is, and I get he's rolling the dice, hardcore. Next year, he could be seen as one of the worst presidents ever, or one of the best. We'll see. Joel says, I saw a video referring to measles, TV show, cartoon versus today. Oh no, little Sydney has the measles. To oh my God, we're all gonna. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes, yeah. We saw it differently when I was a kid. It wasn't like the end of the world. People didn't really get it very much, but yeah, it wasn't the end of the world. Yes. So Sharon says, I'm already crying. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yes. Yes, there will be a long weekend. It's true. I will be out. I will absolutely be out. Yes, I will be out. But I'll be thinking about you all. How about that? Is that good? So, yes. All righty. Kim says, looking for Kintsugi. She wasn't in chat last night, I don't think. And for sure out Tuesday chat. Yeah, she's probably out working, is my assumption. I hope she comes back. Kintsugi, can you hear us? Come on in. We want you to come in. That'd be amazing. So, Yomir says, Larry for governor. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shelly says, I had all the childhood diseases except for polio. I'm still scared of the apes from the Planet of the Apes because I had scarlet fever and it was on television when I was hallucinating. Oh, interesting. Yes. Yes. I remember when Planet of the Apes came on TV. Yes. I saw a couple of those in the movie theater, actually. I know I'm old. So yes, I did. But again, where I lived in the Bronx, there was a movie theater called the Earl. It's gone now, but it was a private movie theater. And it was based like back in the day, for those of you who are old enough, there used to be, it probably still have now, but it used to be more common. It was like a second run movie theater. What that meant is, it would come out in the major theaters, whatever the movie was, the major theaters would come out first in the major theaters. And then after a year or two or whatever was the time period, they would re-release it to like the second tier movie theaters, right? So like if the movie came out in 1976, if you couldn't go see it in the big movie theater for whatever it cost back then, I don't know, $5, whatever. I don't remember what the movies cost back then, whatever, $5, whatever it was, which was a lot of money back then, whatever, right? For the movie theater then you could watch it like 2 years later or whatever it was in a second tier for like $3 or something. Well, one of those theaters was in my neighborhood in the South Bronx. If they know where that is, it's actually on 161st Street. If you remember, right by Yankee Stadium. For those of you who know the area, there used to be a theater. In fact, you can still see the marquee, but it's like a drugstore now or something. But we used to go there and watch the second run shows. And so I got to watch Planet of the Apes like 3 years or 4 years after it came out. So yeah, that's how I saw it in movie theaters. Not Planet of the Apes, the second or third one. It's like 4 Planet of the Apes. I didn't see the first one in the movie. I saw like the third one or something like that, whatever it was. I forgot which one I saw. I saw one of them in the movie theater. So anyway, Rick says, I'm warming up to MTG. Look, all I'm saying is we need to be open, Rick, to single issue coalitions. We need to be open to them, right? Sometimes you need to jump on board with people who want to be our allies. What does that Cenk always say? Take yes for an answer. I think Cenk Uyghur is right on this one. Take yes for an answer. When someone's on your team, just go, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. And then next thing we'll fight, whatever. So Liberty Lady says, I stand grandly with Massey. Me too. Me too. Shan says it. Single issue coalitions. Correct. Missy says, I'm a Massey fangirl. David says, MTG is a lunatic. Jet exhaust is not the same as cloud seeding. True. But again, if we're on the same page, let's, you're not wrong, but I'll take it. That's all I'm saying. I'll take it. I don't care if she's a lunatic. I don't care. I know it sounds weird, but I'm going to practice what I preach, right? Amber's like, RFK's this. Okay. But if he's giving us more choices, I'm in. MTG is this. Okay. But if he's helping to have more choices, I'm in. I'm in. That's all I'm saying. Sherry says, get Monsanto out of our country yesterday. Kim goes one step further. Get Monsanto gone from this planet. There we go. I like that. So Rick says, being a fan of any politician, but especially those who are aligned with power establishment, will lead to disappointment. Yep. Anything's a betrayal. Any who go rogue have my love when principled. Yes. True. Absolutely true. I'm with you on that, Rick. I am. Missy says, highlight your question or comment for Larry to be read live by using Super Chat. He moves you first to the line. It does. She is correct. Guys, I'm going to ask you a couple things about it right now. One, click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. If you actually like what I'm talking about, if you're happy hearing it, if you like that we're going back and forth, then do me a favor. Click that button. How else am I going to grow? How else are we going to see this if we don't do that? Mr. Rhythm, Algo, Rhythm, loves when you do so. So make him happy. Make him happy. Not just that he loves when you share this. Repost this someplace online. Put this into a Facebook group. Repost this or reshare this on X, whatever the case may be. Do that. Share it. It does matter. It is important if you can do that. Cut and paste it. Put it someplace. All good. Wherever you can. It does matter tremendously. So, all righty. Hold on here. Also, if you can follow me on Facebook, and X and Rumble is always good. And of course, as you already mentioned, you can super chat me or rant me on Rumble, either one. Lastly, if you want to, you can always become a member. Membership is amazing, helps tremendously. If you want to become a member, click that join button on Chartway YouTube, or you can do it also during the live on Rumble if you want to. Excuse me, $49 per month. Every time this happens per month, it keeps everything going better so that I can spend less time working and more time doing this. And maybe I'll be on time more. My kid's mad at me when I'm not on time. But I've been good recently. I have been good recently. So I'm trying to get better. Membership helps. Jump onto the best of your ability. It does help tremendously. I am looking now on Rumble. Let me grab a couple of these. Peace. Thank you. Thank you for the dollar, my friend. You are doing such a good job, Larry, covering all these important topics. We all thank you. Oh, thank you, Peace. I do appreciate that. Really, yes. All righty. JJ, thank you for the dollar. Adding an explanation for VA ladies extra work. D is amazing. She does a whole lot of work. More than I even asked for. More than I asked for. So yes. In fact, the best part to be forward about the team that I'm very lucky to have is I can't talk to them every day all the time. I'm too busy. I can't always respond. And they just do stuff. I cannot say how much I appreciate it. They just do stuff. Like stuff gets done. Like, oh, that happened? Awesome. Oh, great. That's awesome. Yes. So thank you guys. JJ goes on, a donation to read my YouTube content regarding my lunch break today. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can find that. All right. I'll see if I can find that one, JJ. Let me see if I can do that. He goes on to say Saga was getting married. Yes, he was getting married. And now he has a kid though. So I think he did like both similar, either right close or whatever. Maybe she was pregnant when they got married, maybe, but anyway. So yeah, either way, no judgment. Good for you. So yeah, he was gone for a while. Sharpe fan 12 says, but there is a difference. Coke is not going to become a health food, but it will be less bad for you. True. Let's see here. If they use cane sugar and glass bottles, transportation costs will go up significantly. Yeah, and people might pay $6, and that's fine. Again, if you're into it, you should buy what you think is important. If you like Coke that much, and maybe you do, enjoy it, and you'd rather have cane sugar, great, pay the $6. Or say, I don't want to have Coke, or say, I don't care, put a plastic bottle, give me the corn syrup, whatever. Again, the point I keep bringing up, and I agree with you, is more choice and more important than even choice. More important than choice. Most people will not even understand why the glass bottle matters. Some of you don't even know why it matters. Microplastics. Now, you may not care about that. Okay, have the plastic bottle. You don't care. Some people do. I know someone who literally will only go to certain stores to buy water because she will only buy water in a glass bottle. I was thoroughly impressed by that, by the way. But yes, that's true. That's it. She's like, nope, I want water in a glass bottle. Now, you may not care. I'm not mad at you. But some people do. And that person is going to be like, I'm glad I can have my Coke in a glass bottle. And again, I mentioned it because maybe some of you know and don't care. Some of you don't know. And you might now do some homework and decide, hey, I do care about this, or maybe I don't. Again, informed consent is all I'm trying to do. Informed consent is what I was trying to get at. That's the most important piece. Peace over on Rumble just gifted a subscription. Thank you, Peace. I appreciate it, my friend. I love it. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, let me keep going down in these comments if I can. So many of them. I want to keep going here. All righty. Garrett coming in hot. 10 memberships. Thank you, Garrett. You are the man. Garrett coming in with 10 memberships. Guys, grab those. Remember our rules of memberships. If you made $20 million last year, you may not take one of these free memberships. If you made $20 million last year, pay the $49. Don't be cheap. You made $20 million, right? If you didn't make $20 million, you made $19 million, right? I know Duke made probably like $18 million. If you made $18 million last year, you may take one. It's fine. 20 million is the cutoff. If you made 20 million, don't be greedy. Don't take a free membership. If you made under, please take one. I love it. Perfect. Garrett, 5 more. He is the man, coming in hot. Appreciate it, guys. Please grab them if you can. That's excellent. Yes. Peace Logic, gifting another one. Look at them. Keep grabbing. Thank you, guys. I love the memberships. Each one matters. Keep going, guys. Thank you so much. Each one of them does count. 100%. Duke says, thank you for the $10. With the public demanding the EpiPen list, the deep state will eventually release their own version of the list with no prominent names on it. Maybe a fall guy or two, but it'll not be the actual list. This part, I'm glad you said that, Duke. I'm glad you said that because people said in the last show, 2 shows ago, you know, the powerful, wealthy people never go down. That's not 100% true. There's always a fall guy. You're right. There will be a fall guy. There'll be a gal, but there'll be someone, right? The fall gal was Maxwell. She was the fall gal. Why we put her away? See, it's all done, gone. That was, but the list kept hanging out there. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. She was the fall gal, right? We'll put her away, and now it's done. Oh, it's not done. So you're right. They're gonna put out somebody and go, oh, and it'll be some guy who like you vaguely heard of, right? It won't be like someone very, it'll be like, oh, I heard of that guy, and then that'll like be the thing, right? It'll be like that. That'll be the thing. It'll be like that kind of guy. So, I think you're correct. All right. Well, let me get back to. Let me grab this. There's a comment I want to bring up here over on Rumble. This is it's from JJ. Had a discussion with a coworker during lunch where I shared a can of blackberry kombucha. Coworker said RFK Jr was crazy, but agreed he had a point about the number of ingredients in stuff now. Okay. Your person obviously leans left because it goes back to Mike Voss's point. RFK Jr. is a traitor if you lean left. Therefore, even if you say something nice about him, you have to also insult, or you're a bad person. I wish I was joking. I'm very serious. If you self-identify as a left-leaning or Democratic voter, you have to insult RFK Jr. Even if you agree with him, you can go, well, he's right, but he's nuts. Like you have to do the insult. You must dismiss, right? And so your friend did. Well, he's right there, but it's crazy. Oh, okay. Now you virtue signal effectively to show that you are a good Democrat or you're a good person who leans left. So you're fine. You've done that. That's how it works. That's why the person did it, by the way. That's why. Just so you're aware. All righty. Peace, gifting 5 more subscriptions over on Rumble. Guys, thank you so much, guys. Grab those if you can. Grab some of those over on Rumble. If you aren't on Rumble now, head on over there. There's subscriptions flying everywhere. Peace is throwing them. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. So go ahead and grab those if you can. I appreciate that. Yes, 100%. Peace. Killing it. Absolutely killing it. Thank you. All righty. Grab some more of these. Leela says, Steak and Shake just impressed me. Didn't think that could be possible. There we go. See? So maybe you want to go there and grab and grab like a soda or something that if you like any of those things, just to be nice. I don't know if you eat that kind of stuff, but if you do, Leela, there we go. Perfect. So there we go. Missy says, I love me some Diet Coke. A lot of people do. Austin says, I've returned. Trying to catch up with the episodes, Larry. I produce a lot of content, my friend. It's hard to catch up with me. I produce, generally speaking, I average about 10 hours of live content per week. I average about 10 hours per week. That's a lot. That's my average. Sometimes go more, sometimes less, but I average around that. Yeah, I do. Dave, thank you for the $5. Trump and co. are holding on to the E-list for October surprises in 2026 and 2028. That's brilliant. Yeah, but can he survive that long, Dave? Right? I get what you're saying. Can he survive? I mean, that's a year from now, a year and 3 months from now. If he doesn't put a list out for a year and 3 months, I mean, look, maybe. And I say that because the hardcore Trump supporters are still with him. They are still with him. They have not walked away. The coalition is falling apart. But if you love Trump, you still love him. That hasn't changed, right? You still love him. That has not changed. But if you're a part of the coalition, that's shaking. That's shaking, which means, do you gamble and watch some people shake off and then wait a year? Maybe. I could see it. It seems like a big gamble. That's what I'm saying. It's like a big gamble. If you're going to hold on to that list for the next 14 months, 15 months, man, how much damage can be done to your coalition in that time? That, I guess, is my worry. I'm not saying you're wrong. I could just, right? That's a tough one. Phil says EpiPen was likely laundering money for intelligence. There's the other piece, right? How many intelligence agencies get affected by this? Is it just ours? Is it some other countries? Is it multiple? I could see all of that. It's all possible. And here's the problem. If Trump lets that out, is he using them for something else? I don't know, right? I don't know. And then do the intelligence agencies that have to show, will it come out that they'll show how they've been mailing people the black type? Is that going to come up? Maybe, right? Maybe. But I get your point. That would make sense. I don't know, Dave. I'm still about what Dave's saying. I get it. But if you're on his team, Dave, and if you support Trump, I know you don't, but if you did, would you be sitting there going, yeah, do that? Or would you be like, dude, you can't do that? I don't know what I'd be doing, but I feel like it's a gamble. It's a big gamble if he does it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's a big gamble. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I'm kind of torn. So, alrighty, let me see here. Rick says, I doubt the health effects of refined cane or beet sugar differ significantly over high fructose corn syrup. There is difference. And he even said it's 5% difference. There's a small difference. Because even though cane sugar is refined, corn syrup is more refined. I don't know how or why the details, but yeah, even he said it. There's a little bit difference. And that's my point. Any little bit difference is good. I'll take what I can get. Right? That's it. So Rick goes on to say, I've stopped using keto products except for MCT sources. Actually, I rarely use keto products. I do sometimes, right? So for example, when I want to have a treat with my family and we want to have keto cookies or something, then I use some of the keto products, right? For those types of things. Otherwise, you're right. I just eat keto. I don't use any of the products because the products, to your point, a lot of keto products are heavily processed. And I try to avoid heavily processed foods. So will I have them sometimes? Yeah, here or there. But I'm talking once a month, maybe. Most of my food I try to have as raw as I can have it. And even when I cook it, as rare as I can have it. I try to have it as close to nature as I can without giving myself some kind of disease or parasite. But I try to. So yeah. P says, RFK is very importantly raising the awareness in health and what is wrong. Yes, peace. And that's the piece I love. Yes, 100%. The point is people now are talking. A lot of people wouldn't even thought about it. Now they are. Now they are. And you have to make a decision. That's the piece. Lila says, cane sugar is processed, but it's still preferred over ultra-processed syrup made with any fruit or vegetable that contains sweetness. True. Yes, absolutely. It is true. So, all righty. All right. Mike says, no trigger, but obviously there's a massive difference from a plant and a chemical made in a production line. That's just ignorant and false. Even I, not in the MAHA or healthy eating, know the difference. Correct. And Mike, I know you're not into it, but I don't think you're mad at this. You're like, good, have different options, right? I've broken bread many times with Mike. Mike eats what he eats what he wants. He does, but he's not mad at me for being keto. He sometimes thinks I'm crazy for it, but he's not mad at me. He's like, good, eat your thing. He doesn't care. He knows that when we eat together, he knows what I'm going to eat, and he's going to eat whatever he wants. I'm not mad at him. Mike eats what he wants to eat. It's fine. And that's the point. I'm not seeing, nothing I saw from what MAHA's been doing is saying, you may not. They're saying, now you have options. And I'm okay with that. So, yes. Joel says, high fructose corn syrup is in everything. Cane sugar is not. Yes. True. Yeah. All right. P says, I'm going to write to Sagar. I'm a lifetime member. Maybe they will listen more to a founding member. I love that. That's a great idea. Yes. I love that. Lila says, carbohydrates that convert into sugar once is processed within your body. Yes. Yes. Dave says, kids need to go out and play instead of staying at home during the summer. 100%. We have changed that completely. Yes. Changed it completely. P says, straw manning 100%. True. Amber says, Trump was found guilty of felonies. True. And found liable for fraud and SA. True. It made the GOP love him even more. Also true. Would it even matter to them if Trump flew to EpiPen multiple times? Here's what I would say, Amber. 2 points. One, again, dismissing. I understand. But doesn't make any of these other things wrong. I think that the people who love Trump, the 2 parts, right? One part is so many people have watched the system screw them over. They don't respect the system at all. So they don't care if someone's been found guilty or found liable. They don't care. And you're right. I'm agreeing. Again, I'm agreeing. What you're saying is not wrong. I'm agreeing with you completely. I think they just don't care. I get it. I understand why. What they want is someone who will defend them, care about them, and stop dismissing them. The problem with what you're saying, Amber, is this is what Bill Maher said years ago. I brought this up many times. There were a bunch of people on Bill Maher's show. They were both Democratic strategists, and they're saying what you're saying. Why do people keep voting? They were saying almost the same thing. For the GOP, they're against their best interest. It's crazy. And Bill Maher looked at them and said, because they hate you. And they hate you because you hate them. That's true. And to be forward, Amber, again, I'm glad you're here. Please keep coming back. You saying this proves them right. Because you go right to insulting them. You insult Trump supporters, right? People think I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not. Never have been. I'm not. Never have been. Ask Mike. Mike's a Trump supporter. He gets mad at me because he wants me to be a Trump supporter. I'm not. I just don't insult him or insult Trump supporters. I don't insult them. I know that they're voting for him and supporting him because they see him as someone who will defend them or someone who doesn't hate them. That's how they see him. They see, the people who support Trump see Democrats as people who hate them. Because, Amber, to be forward, I can tell you do hate them. You dismiss them. You think they're all stupid. You think they're all crazy. You think they're all dumb. And they hate you in return because you hate them. They're not going to vote for someone who hates them. It's just how it works. And this also, by the way, gets Mike mad because Mike wants people to vote on policy. And I say all the time, people vote on emotion. I'll give you the best example of this. In the reverse, I have many people in my family. I'm black on my father's side. People on my father's side of family, black, many of them are conservative. Churchgoers, gun owners, very religious, conservative, vote Democrat. Why? They're conservative. Why? Because they've been told their entire life Republicans hate them. So they go, well, I hate them, so I'm not going to vote for them. So they don't vote for the Republicans, even though that group of people, their whole policy, everything about them aligns more with Republicans. I mean, clearly, like they are conservative. Again, churchgoers, gun owners, all the things you imagine. They live in the South. My family, the Sharpe side lives in the South. Right? Live in the South. And vote Democrat. Why? Republicans hate them. So this is the reverse. People aren't going to vote for someone who hates them. So you're right. They would still support, because again, this goes back to my biggest piece, which is if we only have a two-party system, I have two choices: the guys who hate me, or the guys who don't hate me, or I walk away. So they either walk away or vote for the guy who doesn't hate them. So yes, but there is an exception, I will tell you, and this I've been saying this forever. I'll keep going on this one. The exception is kids. That's always the exception, Amber. If we find out, and again, there's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that. But if there is, if Trump did something with the little ones, if that's true, that will change. That's the exception. Kids are the exception. So anyway, hope that makes sense, Amber. Thanks again for coming back here. I appreciate it. So, all righty. Let's see here. Lita says, let's face it, nobody asked for his opinion. No, Saga did because it fit his pre-existing his pre-existing narrative. It fit his narrative. So he jumped right in. Right? It fit his narrative, so he jumped on it. Absolutely, just jumped right. He's like, oh, that's good. So yeah, it fit his narrative, so he just kept going. So, all righty. Let's see here. Peace goes, it's a really good example of short Yes. Yep. All righty. Here, if I keep going down here, if I can. All right. Lila says, journalists are painful to listen to or watch. Maybe. Yeah. P says, of the two, Saga and Crystal, I've always liked Saga better. He seems more balanced. I would agree. He is more balanced. That's true. He is more balanced. That's true. More. Yes. Crystal obviously has TDS. I mean, clearly. It's not even close. And her oldest son, Kyle, is even worse. Her oldest son, Kyle, is just insults. It's hard to watch. If you watch any one of Kyle's shows, any of them, I'm not joking, within the first minute of every show, insults. He begins with insults. That's how he starts, insults. And he wonders why the right won't come to him. Well, because you insult them. You just insult them. Of course. Why would you think that? So, yeah. Phil says, it's really frustrating when I go to the doctors and they say that keto is only a short-term solution. The guy that Sagar had on feels the same way. I didn't want to go down that road because I'd have been yelling. Mike would have been mad at me. Mike would have been calling me on the phone. Shut up, Larry. He would have been yelling at me because that guy said that same thing. I told you the story. For those of you who is new, some of you will know this, but it's actually happened to me. I go to the doctor every 4 years whenever I run for office to get my work done. So last time I went was 2022. And at that point, I had been on keto for 12 years, right? Now I've been on 15. At that point, I had been on for 12 years. And I go to my doctor, and I was like, hey, we want to get you on a statin. I said, a statin? She's like, yeah. You can make sure we can control your cholesterol and stuff. I said, is it that high? Oh, no. Well, then why do you want a statin? Well, we got to make sure you keep it under control. I said, I'm on keto. I've been keto. My keto's keeping me good. And she told me, oh, that's not sustainable. She told me that. I'm like, what? Yeah, not sustainable. I've been on it 12 years. That's kind of sustainable. Like, that's sustainable. 12 years. Now 15 years. Kind of sustainable. She's like, oh, no, you got to put you on a statin. Phil, all the time. Happens all the time. Doctors always think I'm crazy. I'm like, I've been doing it for 15 years. Then it was 12 years. If I run again, I'll go to the doctor again next year. So I'll be on it 16 years. And she'll probably tell me, can we get you on a statin now? Why? It's because my age. I'm too old. I guess once you hit a certain age, you got to go on statins. Is that how it works? I guess. I don't know. That's how it works. Terrible. So, all right. JJ says, $2. Where in the South? I live in Georgia, where the big golf tournament happens. Have you thought about getting tickets? No, 2 states, Georgia and Florida. So yes, Georgia and Florida, both. So, yep. All righty. Lila says mandating drives everybody crazy. True. Yes. Patty is in the house. She says, if white cane sugar were to go before the FDA today, it'd be labeled an addictive drug. Yes, you're right. I think you're right. You would be able to find that. Someone will be able to push that. I think you're right. Someone will be able to push it and find that that's true. I think you're totally correct. Yep. So with that in mind, if I could, guys, I know I have in the past talked to you about lockdowns and about all that kind of good stuff. So since I brought this up, I very often ask you to go over to the advocates and to take the world's smallest food quiz. I ask you almost every show. I'm not going to ask you this time. I'm still going to ask you to go there. Please click the link that is in the show description. Click that specific link that's in the show description, if you would please. The one that's on Rumble or Facebook or YouTube. And when you click there, head over and take the pandemic survey. Please take that specific survey, the pandemic survey, right? Click that survey. Here's one question. Which of the following most closely aligns with your beliefs? We need strong central government that will enforce national quarantines in place, rules preventing local authorities from making decisions on the contrary. Decisions to enforce quarantine in place should be a matter of states' rights, as the power was given to the federal government, was not given to the federal government. Quarantine in place should not be coercively enforced at all. Such policies give governments too much power, harm the economy, and delay the virus's spread. These are the kind of questions I want you to answer. Think about these answers. Answer them. Go through the whole thing. When you're done, get your results. When you get your results, do me a favor. Share the results. Put them on Facebook. Put them on YouTube as a post. Put them on X, whatever. Share them. And then that same link I put you there, put that same link there. Have someone else come in and take that too. This is the kind of conversation we get to have, right? Why do I bug you to take these surveys every single show? Because they're a sponsor? Yes. Why are they a sponsor? Because this matters. Look, I could hawk gold on this show if I want to. I could. Boy, I could. I could hawk crypto on the show. Oh, I could hawk crypto. I could do that too. I don't want to hawk crypto. I don't want to hawk gold. What do I want to hawk? Change. Conversations. People talking back and forth. That's what the show is all about. That's what this does. Take this quiz. You will start thinking. People will take it. They'll start thinking. They'll start having conversations. They'll ask you, how'd you answer number one? How'd you answer number two? Blah, blah, blah. That will happen. That's what I want. So please click that link. Go hit it. It's free. It's free. Cost you nothing. Cost you time, which I know is something, but you got time. You're watching me. You listen to me. You got some time. Take this quiz, a couple minutes. Share it, please. It does matter. It's very important. I want more conversations. Please do it. Plus, it also helps grow the show. So on top of that, all good. P says, I'm waiting for the Larry coin. There is one. It's called a Sharpe coin. There is a Sharpe coin. And you can get it if you want to. LarrySharpe.com. Literally, you can get Sharpe coin if you want to. You can purchase Sharpe coin if you want to. There is a Sharpe coin. It does exist. I'm not joking. 2018, we made it. 2018. So feel free if you want to. It's fine if you want to. I mean, it's a fun. I'm not hawking a Sharpe coin. It's nice if you want it because it's fun. But unless I run for like president or something, then it might gain some money. So maybe you buy a little bit of it. And then if I become president, maybe it'll happen. It'll be something cool. But maybe one day. We'll see. But I'm not hawking that. I'm hawking this. Do what I just asked you, please. It's going to be great. Yes, I appreciate it. 100%. All right. Let me grab some more of this if I can. All right. I'm behind so far. I'm trying to keep going down here. Lita says, RFK Jr.'s relatives are also his worst enemies. He was very good on that. He was. I wasn't. I was very mad at his relatives. And I said so. Last year, when I was a surrogate for him in the media, and they were bringing up that, well, his own family said so-and-so. And I would say, and shame on every one of them. And I'll say it again. Every one of RFK Jr.'s relatives who turned on him because of Biden, shame on every one of you. And I go, Larry, they're not required to support RFK Jr. They're not. They're not. But here's the answer. He's your cousin. He's your brother. I have an idea. Shut up. Say nothing. I am obviously a libertarian. If my daughter were to run for office and say, I'm going to run as a member of the Democratic Socialists of America because I'm a socialist, and you'd ask me to, so Larry, what do you want your daughter running as a socialist? I would just go, she's my daughter. She's not me. I love her. Good luck. That's all I would say. Done. Now, might I say something at the dinner table about this? I might. In the privacy of my own home, I might have something to say. But publicly, I'm going to take a dump on my own blood for politics? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Your family should be far more important than some stupid politics. Just shut up. You don't have to agree. Just say nothing. The appropriate response, Leela, for people who were in RFK Jr.'s family who love Biden, this was the appropriate response. Look, I love my cousin. I don't agree with him. I'm going to be supporting Biden. Good luck. Done. That's it. You're done. Let him know. I'm supporting Biden. Good luck. Good luck with what he does. That's it. Didn't say you wanted to win. You're not supporting them. It's fine. You don't got to get a dump on them. They did. Shame on them. Every one of them is an embarrassment. They should every one of them should make a public apology to him. They're bad people. And if they come to me and say something, I'll tell them to their face. I hope they happen to be watching. Shame on them. Why would you do? Anyway, I'm done. I'm not triggered, Mike. Stop. I know he's texting me already. Don't. I'm not triggered. Moving on. But yes, Leela, you are correct. How about that? I'll just say that. You're correct. We'll move on now. All right. Here we go. Breathe in. Life is good. I'm breathing. All good. Okay. All righty. Let's see. Mike says Americans move less and less as well. True. Uber delivered food. Yep. EV, bikes and scooters. Yep. It adds up. Bad food, zero exercise, results negatives. Yes, yes, and yes. No lies detected. 100% true. Yes. And I'm trying to eat better and stay active. I actually have this. Some of you know this, some of you don't. I actually have, I have one of those chairs. That's a bicycle seat. So I sometimes would use that when I'm like listening to videos, I'm watching them. I'll do a bicycle ride while I'm there. So I'll do that sometimes. Yeah. Chrissy says, I tend to eat a lot of junk food. I need fast calories because my job requires a lot of walking. I was recently diagnosed with Meniere's disease. Oh yeah. Isn't that like, that's like, oh, Meniere's. Doesn't that have to do with like your balance or something like that? It's caused by too much salt, sugar, and caffeine. There we go. Yes. I think that's what it is, right, Christy? Is it balance or something like that, if I'm not mistaken? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I get that. It's tough. It is tough when you have to be. What I would ask you to consider, if you need a lot of calories. And again, if you're very active, carbs are great, right? Carbs, to Mike's point, carbs aren't by default bad if you are very active in burning them off. It's why we had carbs, right? Why we use them, because it used to be humans had to work real hard to get their food, work real hard to do stuff. If you've got to work really hard, carbs are amazing energy. They're amazing for calories, right? If you're an Olympic athlete, I mean, you're going to eat easily 8,000 calories a day if you're an Olympic athlete. Easy, maybe more, but at least 8,000 calories a day because you're an Olympic athlete. I get it. Christy, if you're walking a lot, you need calories. Yes, true. You want to start thinking about clean calories, better calories, less processed calories. But you can be very healthy and have carbs. The problem is, I know myself. I'm on keto because I'm not very active. Compared to when I was a Marine, oh my God. I try to work out many times a week. I try to. I don't always do it. My team knows when I get all grouchy that I'm not, but I try to. I try to work out, but I know I spend a lot of time in front of a computer. Most of us do. I do also. I try to find reasons to go out. Like I will sometimes purposefully not do all my errands with one trip. So I have a reason to go out the next day, a reason to go walking again the next day. So I try to make it so I'm active. To Mike's point, I try to be active. Like I want a reason to get up and get out and walk around and get in the sun. I try to, because I can stay in front of my computer for hours and hours and hours on end, right? Hours on end. In fact, I only eat twice a day. So I can sit in front of my computer for 18 hours. I could do it. It's not good. Don't do that. But yeah, your point's valid. Peace says, it's the clean keto that's super expensive. Organic. Yes. Yes, Peace. That's it. But keto regular is still better than most of the diets. Also true. Yes. So as I've gotten older and learned more, I try to become cleaner in my keto. It's hard. It's hard. Not only is it hard, not only is it expensive, also sometimes hard to get. Again, luckily I live in New York City. So for me being in New York City, easy to get for me relative to others. What if you don't live in New York City? Maybe hard to get. Maybe you might be ordering specialty items and spending even more. Valid point, Peace. You're totally correct. Valid point. Yes. All righty. Duke of Fact, thank you for $2. We consume too much sugar. Moderation, people. Yes. And of course, how active are you? Right? How active are you? Are you super active? You could probably have more, right? Because you're active. If you're not super active, that's the issue, right? And you'll know this by, are you gaining weight? That's really it. Are you gaining weight? You're having too much. It's that, I mean, really, I know it sounds silly, but yeah, that's it. So, all right, let me see if I go down here. A couple others here. Pieces over on Rumble, he says, for those not used to grilling steak or fear cooking or just no experience at cooking, I love the Ninja 1 in 6 foodie grill. Highly recommend, so easy to use, and stakes that rival outdoor grill. There we go. I love that. That's the one to get, I guess, right? The Ninja one. There we go. Joel says, I have a Ninja unit. It's awesome. There we go. The Ninja is the issue then. He goes on to say, no smoke cooking in the kitchen. It contains that. Steak is done in 10 to 12 minutes. Hamburger in 6. It's a flip midway for a better cook. It tells you when. Making me think I should buy one because I would smoke the kitchen up when I make steaks. Peace. Making me think. Yes. JJ says, I think there needs to be research into sweeter sugar that uses less calories. There's tons of them. Stevia is one. Monk fruit's another. I usually when I have my coffee, when I put sweetener in it, it's usually stevia. So yeah, there's sometimes I don't use stevia, but usually it's stevia. Usually when my daughter bakes for us, she almost always uses monk fruit. Almost always. So yeah, they're there. They exist, man. You just got to find them. But they are already there. They're absolutely already there. So did we go to keto? Every time we do AMA, there's going to be keto. Every time. Guaranteed. Yes, there's always going to be one. So yes. All righty. Lila says there's data that ethnicities that eat certain food staples have physiological resistance to foods, which can be basically poison to the nationalities. It's related to survival of the fittest. That's true. That's absolutely accurate. And it's why you find, depending upon your ethnic background, sometimes you have a higher chance of being affected by certain types of allergies too. All diseases, 100%. Ethnicity matters. I know that's not politically correct, Lila, but it's absolutely true. Yes. Jordan says, run, Larry, run. Sharpe 2028. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. I met Hulk Hogan at Comic-Con back in the day. Thank you for that. I appreciate the support for the run. And yes, Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, is now running wild in heaven. It is now gone. Hulk has left us. It's true. It has left us. He has left us. The Hulkamaniac, the Hulkster has left us. True. So Kim says, Civil shows are the best of our show. Oh, thank you for that. We have some good shows on Civil. It's true. We definitely have some good shows on Civil. I appreciate that. Yeah. Patty says, Mediterranean diet since my stroke is what my body craves. And for the first time in my life, my nails are thick, long and strong. My hair looks and feels healthy. I agree with you. And this is my point. I say, this is my opinion, Patty, so I think I'm on the same page as you. I think there's 2 diets that work. This is my opinion only. You take it for whatever you want to take it for. Keto and Mediterranean. It's the only 2 that I ever push. If you are able to do keto, and some people do very well on keto, some people don't. If you do very well on keto, I think keto is the one for you. If you don't do well on keto, I think Mediterranean is the one for you. That's my view. I'm with you, Patty. Those 2, I think you see, I think there's so much evidence of those 2 being the best diets. Generally speaking, the Mediterranean diet is easier to do, but trickier. Sorry, I'm getting my words right. It's easier to find the ingredients, cheaper to get the ingredients, but you can easily be fooled into not being Mediterranean by marketing. That's what I mean by that. It's easier to do and get, but you can also be fooled by marketing. This stuff isn't really Mediterranean, but it pretends to be. That's the only worry about Mediterranean in my world, in my view. Keto, it's hard to be fooled. You know, it's meat, it's veggies, right? So it's easier to not be fooled on keto, but often harder to do keto, and also harder to eat out keto. That's also often harder, can be more expensive. Mediterranean is better on those issues, but you can be fooled because people will, marketing will seem like it's really Mediterranean, but it's not. So that's the only issue. So, but I'm with you. I think those are the 2 I think are the best ones. I absolutely think the best ones. So speaking of that, I want to, as I said, what I think is true, you still should have choice. So I want to, if I can right now, to pop up one more thing that I found on civilization. And this one is literally talking about the jab. It's talking about the jab itself. And what does it say? Should never be mandatory. And this entire piece just on this. Freedom over fear, as always. If you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, Larry, but I've heard that they should be. Right now, something talking specifically about this. Here, and again, you might say, but Larry, they tell me what's right and wrong. They're going to give you actual data if you look at it. You might think they're wrong. I mean, you'd be wrong.
There's a huge amount of pressure on medical professionals to create a vaccine to make sure the virus doesn't come back again. The last thing we want is more sickness, death, and lockdowns if the virus reemerges next year.
There we go. Talk about the serious issues we're concerned about. Another thing you can see which matters. I want you to realize, why do I keep bugging you to get on Civil? Because it gives you good stuff to look at. You're sitting at home. What am I going to watch? I want to hang out. I'm hanging out in my bed, don't know what to do. Go on Civil. CIVL.com. Code Larry, L-A-R-R-Y. Click upper right-hand corner. It's green. Click it. Put that in there. 50% off. $25 for the entire year. Every single show, I show you cool stuff. And best part, every Wednesday, 7 p.m., special show. We Fix It Wednesday. It's about how to fix things on Civil. That's the only Civil-only show. Wednesday, 7 p.m. is the Civil-only show. Jump on Civil if you can. Please do so if you can. CIVL.com. Another cool thing. I just keep finding these. That is how easy it is. It is so simple to find cool things to watch on Civil. You might be like, wait a minute. I'm going to spend too much time watching this show. I can't watch Larry's show. No, watch my show. Still watch my show. In fact, you know what? Watch my show on Civil. Yeah, watch my show on Civil. And then you could just, once you're done, watch other stuff. See? Easy day. I've solved it for you. I fixed it. We fixed it. What do you mean Wednesday? Easy day. Easy day. I fixed it. It wasn't even Wednesday. Nice. All righty. P says, I walked 4 miles yesterday. Walk, bike, talk, 100%. Yes, absolutely. I love that. All righty. Rick says, I get 10K steps almost every day. I try to. And this piece right here is a Whoop. And a Whoop lets me keep track of my steps. And I tend to get over 10,000. Some days I can't, though. And it becomes a pain. When I really get motivated, I go for 20. Not often, but I do. But sometimes I get there. I try my best to get to, I almost always get over 10. But I try very hard to get, when I can, to get past 10. I almost always do. Sometimes I don't. So, yes. Joel says, when we are relocated into our 50-minute cities, we will all be walking more. Now, okay. Now you're going to trigger me. And you're going to trigger Mike too with this. 15-minute cities, I'm not against them. I'm not. I'm against the way they're going to force us to all be in them. But again, some people like this lifestyle. If you do, come on in. If you don't, I get it. We shouldn't be forced into it. Yes. And Andrea says, the left used to be big anti-big pharma. Crazy. Love them now. Correct. TDS is strong. TDS is strong. Christine goes, the Dems have gone way off the rails. Their base is flipping scary. Their base now is heavily educated women. And it wasn't that before. But that's heavily their base now. It's educated women. And again, for those of you who know, educated by that definition is a woman with a 4-year college degree. That's how that is defined. You understand? For those of you asking, what does it mean? It means that. Women who have 4-year college degrees. That is their base now. That's their base. I would bet Amber fits that. That'd be my guess that she fits that. Yep. Very, very, yeah, very common. So, and the more degrees they have, the more chance they are hardcore Democrat. Not just leaning left, but hardcore Democratic establishment. The more chances. The odds are higher. So, yes. All righty. Let me go down here if I can. Kim says, if RFK does internet to help Trump and his PDF files stay covered, I'll be done with RFK. That's the only thing I believe can turn me. You know, this is the part I'm going to tell you. I like Bobby Kennedy. I do. Sometimes when he gets on that train, I get why he does it. Like, I'm torn. Kim, I'm torn. And I'm going to be very forward. I'm saying this just out loud publicly. I'm torn. Why? Because I understand what he has to do to get what he needs. I know. And Kim, sometimes I think he goes too far. That's what I'll say. I think sometimes he goes too far. But I understand. He wants to stay protected. As I said earlier, there are people right now in the Republican Party who want to get rid of RFK Jr. It's true. It exists, happening right now. He needs Trump's protection. He needs it. And that sucks. It does. I don't have another answer. It sucks. He needs it. So he's going to do and say some stuff that some people like me and you are not going to like. And there are times when I think he's gone too far. Excuse me. He's gone too far. But I think he's trying to get stuff done and he's prepared to pay a price for that. And we may not like that. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, Kim. Kim, thank you. Member for 6 months. Thank you, Kim. Membership does matter, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes. Remember, if you want to become a member, you can. Please jump on board. Click that. All you have to do is click the join button over on YouTube, if you would, on Sharpe YouTube. Click join button 49, or become a member on Rumble if you can. Click that subscribe button. But when it's Rumble, you can only click it during the live, right? If you're not on the live, don't click it. Only click it on the live only. If it's on Rumble, if it's on YouTube, anytime you like, click the join button and you can become a member. 49 per month. Again, it's a cup of coffee, guys. And I give you more caffeine than coffee, don't I? Give you a lot more caffeine. Absolutely. Of course, if you want to super chat me, as you've seen people do, please super chat me or rant me on Rumble. Both are awesome to help support the show. Appreciate both of them. But no matter what, please click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Click that button so that the rhythm, algo, loves it, right? And then shares it around so I can grow more and more and more. I am looking over on Rumble and I see Peace Logic says, Civil is great. I'm a member and recommend 100%. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. MB, my VLA says the Sharpe civilians are legit. True. Yes, they are. Accurate statement. All right, let me grab some more of these if I can. I'm trying to get through. I know so much on these shows. I try to grab as much as I can. Patty says, my question about are you an actor, Larry, is because I question everything. Good. Even myself and why I think I do. Why? Oh, like I do. Why do I trust you? You ooze realness, average Joe / Larry, intelligence and empathy. If you notice, Patty, I'm never upset when people question me, ever. You've seen me do events in front of people who ask me questions. Yeah. And there's times when you've asked me to help and I've told you what I could honestly do and what I couldn't do, right? I used my influence a couple of times to try to help. Did it do something? A little bit, right? I was able to help a little bit, that one issue we dealt with, but I couldn't make everything happen. There have been times when in New York, sometimes I'm popular enough to make something happen because people don't want me to be on their bad side. That sometimes happens, but not often. Sometimes people don't care. Sometimes I don't have enough clout. I'm not that popular in New York State. I'm more popular than most. That's true. I'm more popular than most. And a lot of people who are in this system know who I am. So if I start to shake things up, sometimes I get a little bit of action here or there, a little thing to keep me quiet, sometimes not. So I'm open about that. And I said, look, I can try it and see if it'll happen. Sometimes they pay attention, sometimes they don't. So yeah, so I try to be real. And you see me, I try to be real. And I don't get mad. Even when people say, all people get mad at is my own libertarians who take a dump on me who should know me. But people who don't know me, I don't mind. Come on in, figure me out. We'll have a conversation. I love it. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And no, I wasn't upset at all. Of course not. You should be questioning me. You should be. Always. 100%. And the next piece about that is, if you question me enough, you will know me enough, because here is my biggest concern, Pat. I say it all the time. If I'm actually able to make impact in the coming years and become more popular, which I'm trying to become more popular, if I'm able to do that, then the establishment's going to come for me, and they're going to come for me with lies. It's how it works. Terrible things, terrible lies. I need people like you to say, no, I've talked to Larry more than once. I've pushed him for years. I've asked him the right questions. That's not him. I don't buy it. It's not him. And I can't get that out of you if I don't give you everything, right? If I don't give you everything, you'll never do that. But if I give you everything, you're like, nah, it's not him. They made that up. Otherwise, you're like, that's that guy. Yeah, really? He's that? You will fall for it immediately, because people do love that. So yes. So, any case. All righty. Let me go down here. Austin says, Larry, are you aware of the Fallout universe? Are we at the stage of getting power armor, which are similar to Iron Man's very first prototype armor? I've been saying that. I have been saying that. Yes. People were asking, what's the future of warfare? No matter what, right? The strategic bombing and the drone warfare and the, all those things are important and are critical to the modern, battlefield, AI, all those things are important. But at one point, regardless of all the other cool things you have, you need infantry to take the ground at one point, right? Maybe now it's later than it was, right? Maybe, I don't know. It depends how this stuff works. But at one point, you need infantry to take the ground, right? Whenever that happens, you can bomb them, use the drones, AI, whatever, weather warfare, whatever the thing is. But at one point, troops got to come in, whenever that is, right? And the future is not tanks. The future is power armor. They already have some of that stuff. They already have it, as you're saying. They already have it, right? They're using it already for, I think they're already used in prototypes for police already across the country, in the world. They've already got police forces using exoskeletons. Already happening. That's where they're testing it against civilians. Why? Because you test it when you can't fight back. Yeah, so they're making exoskeletons already, which eventually will be Iron Man suits. For those of you who actually read the book, not the silly movie, the actual book, Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein from 50 years ago now, 40 years ago, however long ago it was, whenever he wrote it. That book talks about the power armor back then. That was going to be the future and still is. The Iron Man suit is the future of combat eventually. So, yes. John says, Larry, 2 days ago, Tim Dillon on show 454 interviewed AJ about the EpiPen. AJ's take on all things conspiracy is big tech is secretly gaining control inside MAHA. Not sure I agree, but very entertaining. Yeah. Okay, here's what I would say. Not they're gaining control. They are trying to. I agree. They are trying to. That's what I would say. They are trying to. I don't think they're there yet. So, but yes, they are on their way. That they're trying to. That's part of the problem I was telling you. That there's a push for him to be out. That's a real thing, right? The push to get rid of RFK Jr. is a real thing. That's true, and that's part of it. That is part of it. Yes. Joel says microplastics are getting to our brains. That's accurate also. Yes. Kim says microplastic in plastic bottles and the chemicals leach out of plastic too. Yes. And most people don't know that. So the idea that you should know that, again, you might not care. I'm okay if you don't care, but you should know and make informed, decisions on what you care. I try to remove plastic from my life to the best of my ability. I cook in ceramic. I'm there already. Like you guys know, I do. I cook in ceramic. I buy my olive oil in glass. My water bottles that I use are glass or stainless steel. You cannot realistically get rid of plastic out of your life. In our world, you can't get rid of it. But can you lessen it? You can, if you care. I care. I have less and less plastic. I keep moving away from plastics. You never see me have any those non-stick pans, none of that Teflon, no Teflon, none of that stuff. I've got rid of all of it. I'm with you, Kim. I try my best. I go out of my way to do so, right? I try. I can't get it all. Sometimes I have plastics. As little as possible. So yes, there we go. Andrew, is it with me? I go to all my plastic food containers, all glass and stainless steel. Yes, thank you. I'm the same way. All my containers for like leftovers, glass. Yes. Yep. Or stainless steel or ceramic. All my cups are ceramic. All my plates, ceramic. Everything's ceramic. Yes. Or something stainless steel. All my pots and pans, ceramic, stainless steel, or hardcore steel. One of those two. Yes, absolutely. So Nomadic Cole says, hey, Larry, what are your thoughts about sending a letter to the Hawaii State Republican Party chair to focus on MAHA initiatives as a platform, election cycles of Trumpism and neocons? Hey, Larry, what are your thoughts about sending a letter to the Hawaii State Republican Party chair to focus on MAHA initiatives as a platform for 2026, 2028 election cycles of Trumpism and neocon? I like the idea tremendously. I like it. And I'll say why I like it. The Republican Party in Hawaii is broken, not because there aren't enough conservative people. The Republican Party in Hawaii is broken because the system is dominated by Democrats. Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. Why? Because that's how you win elections in Hawaii. Is she really a Democrat? She has some left-leaning thoughts. She does. There's no doubt. She has some socialist views. She does. She also has some libertarian views, and she also has a lot of conservative views. She has a mix of many views. She picked Democrat. She could have been a Republican. She is now. She could have gone any way because her views are everywhere. So she could have gone any of those. She went to the one where, you could win. It makes sense. I'm not mad at her for it. It makes total sense. So I think you're right. If you were to focus on MAHA, you might get some local victories in Hawaii when the Democratic Party dominates Hawaii. So it's a good idea because what MAHA does is MAHA actually brings moms. That's the biggest issue. It brings moms. It brings dads and stuff too, but it heavily brings moms. And the thing about moms, which is really strong for those you don't know, if I go out and go, hey, I'm going to some event, show up. People go, whatever, we like Larry, whatever. But when moms go, hey, I'm a mom. Hey, mom, show up. All the moms show up. Like moms listen to moms. They listen. So when one of the moms goes, hey, we're doing a thing. They go, we're doing a thing? All right. They're all there. So moms can move things. They really can. So I think it's a wonderful idea. I would do it. I like it. I would do it. Yes. That's my answer. I think it makes sense. So, all right. Peace Logic again over on Rumble says microplastic exposure, focus on minimizing plastic use, filtering water, and avoiding processed foods packaged in plastic. Yes. If you're concerned about detox, supporting liver and kidney function through hydration and nutrient-rich diet is more evidence-based than fasting alone. True. That's true. Yes. I think you do want to reduce it. That's my view. Can you stop it? I don't know if you can stop it, but I think you reduce it. I agree. Right. And you want to be someone, if you can, right? Look, it's easy for me to sit here and preach. I get it. You have to deal with what you have to deal with. My view always the same. If you can lower your plastics, do so. If you can have less processed foods, do so. If you can buy more ingredients and less completed foods, do so. If you can't, I get it. Not everyone is in a spot where you can. Like I said, I didn't judge you. My opinion, 5%. The other guy was laughing at the 5%. 5%'s good, right? If you could live to 80 and you could increase your lifespan by 5%, it's pretty good. It's 4 years. Is that right? Yeah, it's 4 more years. I'll take it. I'll take 4 years. 4 more years. Take it. So I'm okay with it. Just my view. So, all right, let me go down here if I can. Lila says, social functions share with those who lean left is like walking a tightrope. Yeah, when I go to those, and I have lots of them, right? I live in New York City. It's everywhere. Every place I go, right, is that. I often just don't say anything. I talk often, and I say, you don't have to always have an opinion on everything. You don't have to always say stuff. True. And I follow that. When I'm in front of I actually go sometimes to DSA meetings. They're all over here in New York City, right? Democratic Socialists of America. I don't start spouting stuff and fighting people. I listen. How do you guys think I understand how they think so well? How do you think I understand how both sides think so well? How do you think I understand how they're thinking? How can I predict their stuff so well? And I'm not one of them. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm obviously libertarian. I'm not establishment. Clearly, I'm not. But I can predict it. As you see, like 90% accurately, I can predict it. Actually, probably like more than 99% accurate. I predict it very accurately. Why? Because I listen. I listen to them. I hear them. I don't fight them. I will ask them questions, go back and forth. It's how I can recognize who they are a mile away. Sometimes I can hear people. I know people who will say, no one knows what my politics are. I can listen to you for 5 minutes and know exactly all your politics because I listen. That's difference. I don't fight. Not worth it. So, yes. All righty. Jason says, so how do memberships work? If you become a member, sometimes a lot of people, which I have not done and I don't really want to do, a lot of people have membership and then have member-only content. I don't do that. What I do is two things. There's two advantages to membership. Well, a third one, which is the most important one to me. You support the show, right? The more members I have, two things happen. The more valuable YouTube thinks I am, which means they'll show me more, which is one reason why I want it. But two, more cash comes in. I don't have a regular job. I don't have an hourly job, right? So I'm a consultant. If I'm not in front of clients, I'm not doing phone work. If I'm not consulting with people, I don't get paid. So I have to spend time doing that. I have to spend time getting clients. We get time servicing clients, right? Time knowing my field, time knowing stuff, right? Do all that kind of work. The more cash that comes in through YouTube, that's why I ask you to keep me growing so that I can make cash off YouTube. I can spend less time working, more time doing this. That's my number one issue. The second issue when it comes to membership is you get to send me stuff that I can respond to. So people who have my email address, they send and I respond to them often, right? I will do shows on stuff you send me that I can react to videos. Two, I do a members only show. Not members can view, but members can come on and be with me and we just chat. We talk about stuff. We don't really do much commercial stuff. We just talk about things. You get to be on the show, which helps the community move because now the people in the community get to see the person. They see the person and they go, oh, that's that guy who says this. That's that guy who says that. So yeah, that's how memberships work. So you grab membership. It's $49 per month. If you can make it recurring, if you want to, it's very helpful. So thank you for that question. If you can, that's great. Austin says, just 18 more episodes to go, Larry. I'll get there, lol, with a normal speed of 2 times. If you can understand me on 2 times, nicely done. That's all I can say. Nicely done. Yes. Peace Logic over on Rumble for $1. Have you noticed that Republicans are more welcoming than Democrats? Republicans, the people, not congressmen. Don't rip me a new one if I'm a Dem or Libertarian or anything. Just my observation. That has switched, to be forward with you recently. If you go back 40 years, 30 years, maybe, the reverse was true. Republicans used to be, back in the day, maybe 1970s, 80s, Republicans used to be the ones who were all about censorship. They were all about, they were the pro-war. They were all that stuff. Democrats were like the free love, drugs are great and don't bomb people and everybody's welcome. That has absolutely changed. You're correct. Now, Democrats are not that anymore. Democrats have been much more do as I say, much more. But again, Trump built a coalition. So now they're more open to coalition building now. So that's true. Will it swap again? Maybe. But I think right now that's absolutely true. At this moment it is. That could rotate. Again, another 10, 20 years, whatever. It could. But right now, you're absolutely correct. It's much more open. That's true. So yes. All righty. Let me grab here if I can. All righty. Dave says, I'm leaving it to another channel. Boo. Don't do that. Mike is right. Our chat's better. True. Yes. True. Absolutely. Yes. Shay goes on to say, which Trump went to the island? That's a great question. I don't know which one. It may not be Big Trump. It might be one of the little ones. It's possible. It is possible. Yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go here. Literally says, one of the biggest scams that we are supposed to have low cholesterol. True. Yes. True. Absolutely. All righty. Andrea says, Jason, Larry does get compensation for every membership. Yes. YouTube takes a chunk, obviously. Too much of a chunk. But yes, absolutely. Yes. When I am asking for membership, I'm asking to support the show. Yes, that is correct. Yes, that's true. I don't hide that. Right. When I tell you to, hey, I want you to do this, do that. Yes. Right. I talk about civil and I talk about the advocates. They're sponsors for the show. Right. Do I love them? Yes, absolutely. I could be doing other things. As I said, I could be hawking gold. I could be hawking cryptocurrency. Those are all options for me. I'm not taking those options because I want to hawk something that I believe in, that I'm a part of. I am physically a part of civil, right? I take and use the advocates test when I'm out doing things. These are things that I feel 100% behind. I support 100%. That's why I'm using these two as sponsors. But yes, they sponsor the show. I want to be very clear. I say it openly. I want you to know it's true. They sponsor the show. Yes. To be forward, I'm a libertarian. I have no problem talking about money. I'm happy to make money. I want you all to make money. I hope you all make $1 gazillion. I hope, and I'm not making that up. I'm not just saying that. I hope you all are very successful. I want to be successful too. So yes, these are sponsors. Yes, they support this show. Yes, correct. So yeah. So anyway, to be clear. Lila says federal mandates. There is nowhere else to run. State mandates. One can travel to another state with no mandate. Sometimes. Jan reposted the stream. Thank you, my friend. I need it badly. Thank you. Yes. Brian says, my type of show. Let's go, Bobby. Did you cover CHC suing RFK? I'd like to hear your thoughts. I don't know. I didn't hear that. I got to check that out. Let me look on that one. But yeah, people are trying to. Yeah, they just keep going. Yeah. Lila says, shame on Kennedy family treating their cousin that way. True. Yes. And it's like, breathe in and breathe out. Yeah. I'm being good. Liberty says, how does Larry take his daily coffee? Ah, yes. All right. I drink at least 3 cups a day, often 4 or 5, sometimes 6, depending on how late I'm working, what I'm doing, but always at least 3. My first cup is filled with goodies, my mud cup for the first morning. Generally speaking, if I'm fasting, which I try to fast, I try to do intermittent fasting during the week. I don't always do it, depends on my work day. The more I'm working and the more things are going on, the more stressed I am. I often don't intermittent fast because I want to take some kind of intake. So my intake is usually coffee. It's the easiest intake to take. So in the mornings or afternoons, depends. If I'm fasting, I don't take anything until noon. When I'm fasting, my last meal is around 6. And I don't eat again or drink anything except for water until noon the next day when I'm fasting. So if that's the case, then I take my first coffee right after my breakfast at noon. My breakfast is usually, not every day, but almost every day, 3 eggs, a half pound of grass-fed, grass-finished beef. 3 eggs are pasture-raised, obviously organic, and some form of sauerkraut. Someone asked about love my pickle. That's one of my favorite sauerkrauts. I have that. Anything organic doesn't matter. I'll order from sauerkraut. I swap my sauerkrauts so that I can have different farms. I know I practice what I preach, guys. Some of you are like, Larry's crazy. Maybe, yes, but I practice what I preach. I buy sauerkrauts from different companies so I can get sauerkrauts from different farms, which gives me a different biome in my gut. That's why I do that. So yes, I'm very serious on that. So my coffee in the morning usually is some form of organic coffee, usually Anthony's. I like Anthony's as a brand, but I will also use other types. I've used Bulletproof coffee, again, different places. I've had cardiac coffee also. I had some of that the other day. So, because sometimes I get sent coffees. Sometimes, believe it or not, when I meet people in places, they're like, oh, you're trying my coffee. So I get sent coffees. So I'll try some, I often do those. I had some mushroom coffee like a month ago. So I'll do that too. So some of the organic coffee, either ground or it'll be instant, depends on what I want, which one I'm thinking about. I will usually put some form of sweetener, almost always stevia, often creatine. I cycle on and off of creatine. I do like creatine, so I'm on and off it when I can. And I also cycle off of peptides, collagen peptides. I cycle on and off of those too, depending upon the day, week, those. And also cocoa. Those also keep testosterone levels up. So I do that also. So that's every morning, a cup of that mud. And then my next cup is usually just straight. And I usually use half and half. I like half and half, almost always half and half. Sometimes not, but almost always half and half too. That's my first cup of coffee. So hope I answered your question. There we go. All righty. Let's see here. Adrian says, bad food catches up with you. Add in toxins and the environment and autoimmune disease pop up. True. True. The Matic says, Larry Sharpe, have you ever tried Tai Chi? I have. I actually used to do a little bit of Tai Chi when I lived in Asia for many years. I used to. And I never got into it. It wasn't the thing that I really enjoyed much. And I think maybe it's because when I was a teenager, I studied Taekwondo. I used to teach it when I was in the Marine Corps. And Taekwondo is far more forward, aggressive relative to Tai Chi. And when I started Tai Chi, I was feeling like it was slow Taekwondo. So I think my previous experience with martial arts made Tai Chi feel awkward to me. And I never took it up because of that. It felt like something was wrong. I never got it. So I tried it. It never connected for me. It never did. The only thing that's close to it that I have done before is maybe meditation. I've meditated many times. So maybe that's close. It's not really the same, but it's maybe close. So for me, it's like that or something aggressive or forward. So yes. Asset, does Larry meditate? Headspace is a legit meditation app. I don't use to meditate now. I used to. I don't much anymore. I did it, but I started again when my daughter was in high school. My daughter was in high school and she was struggling a bit in high school and junior high school. So I would wake up with her in the morning before she go to school and we meditate for like 20 minutes. I did it for like a couple of weeks just to get her into it, to understand it, like it. She tended to like it very much. I was okay with it. The goal of meditation for most people is to focus your mind. That's really the goal, is to focus. And it's one of the reasons why women tend to want to meditate more than men, and why women tend to struggle with it more than men. The female mind, the female brain tends to be, against tendencies, more active than the male brain, about 30% more active. So women are much better at holistic thinking, and their brains stay on longer and are more active than male brain. Male brains are much better at linear thinking and staying focused, much better in general. These are, of course, generalities. It's why women have trouble sleeping more than men. It's why if you look at any commercial for sleep medication, it's always a woman, not a man, right? Because women have more trouble sleeping. Why? Their brain doesn't shut off. Male brain shuts off much easier and focuses easier. So it's actually easier to meditate for men. So women want to meditate more because they need the practice on being more linear. Again, that's most women. They need more practice becoming more linear thinkers. So if you do meditation right, a lot of women I meet when I talk to them about meditation, they go, Larry, I'm bad at meditating. And I said, what do you mean? Well, I'm always pulling myself off. I said, no, that's what meditation is. It's constantly putting yourself back into the same spot. Your mind naturally goes off and you pull it back. Naturally goes off and you pull it back. That's the point of meditating, is getting your mind into one thing. Linear thought, single-eyes focused thought, right? Some people do it simply as just counting. That's how I learned it, by the way. Counting backwards. That's how I learned it. Counting backwards. That is how I was able to do that, right? But that's not the only way. You can do it to where they constantly keep refocusing you. If you hear most people like on Headspace and that, the meditation app, they'll tell you what to focus on, and they'll change. Easier for women, believe it or not. If you ever go there, you hit focus on your breathing now. They'll say things like that, right? Think about in and out, in and out. That's a kind of thing Headspace will say, or any of those apps will say, that kind of thing, right? You focus on that. Focus on the feeling of your back. Recognize your back. Understand. They'll just say things like that, right? Because all they're doing is getting you to focus on it. They could say anything. They could say focus on the color blue. They could do that, right? It's the same concept. Can I get my brain here? Can I get my brain here? Can I get my brain here? So anyway, for men, it's very easier to just like count backwards from 100. For women, it's much better because they're going at any place, all over the place, any place. So you try to bring it back. Anyway, I yapped away. You guys, you asked, I told you. So yes, I have in the past. I don't much now, here or there, but not as much. Sometimes I'll do it when I'm trying to get some sleep. If I have trouble sleeping, as a lot of things are in my head, I will lay down and just meditate until I pass out. So sometimes I'll do that. That does happen. So, all right. All righty. Let me walk down this road if I can. Kim says, if I go keto, low carb, 20 or less for 10 or 14 days, I get exhausted, tired, and weak. That is actually called the keto flu. That's what that's called. Yes, that's a common thing. It's called the keto flu, right? And don't seem to feel energized until I have a sweet drink or something sweet. Yeah, that's called the keto flu. And it's basically your body responding like, by the way, it's very similar to withdrawal symptoms. I'm not making that up. Look it up. It's called keto flu. It's not the flu. It's called keto flu. So yeah, that happens to a lot of people. All righty. Let's see here. Andrea says, I spent 4 years in community college and got 2 associate degrees, but I'm not considered educated. True. Correct. According to their rules, you're not. You have to have a 4-year degree or more to be educated. Yes. That's correct. According to them. Yes. All right. Nomadic has lots to say today. Hey, Larry, I support RFK Jr. and MAHA in 2024. Currently vouching for my state local Republican Party to endorse MAHA initiatives over neoconservative and Trumpism. Any thoughts? I answered that question. I'm sorry. I must have been a bit late. So, yeah. All righty. I hope that makes sense. All righty. I'll walk down here. Alita says, you have it in you to be great help to save our worthwhile party. Oh, I hope that was for me. I appreciate that. I'm trying that. Kim says, the Empire show did cause me to question your authenticity, though, Larry. I was like, this man should be convincing. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. But here's what I'll say. I talked about listening and empathy. I am, for those people who know me, I'm actually insanely empathetic. And like insanely empathetic. And it happened when I was a kid. It was a problem. When I was a kid, I would watch people on TV bleed or suffer and I would cry. That is how empathetic I was. I could feel it. My father died when I was a kid. Boy, did that change everything in my life. My entire brain was rewired to the point where I still was empathetic, but out of a self-defense mechanism, I was able to become apathetic and turn my emotions almost off because I would have been devastated. I couldn't, it was self-defense mechanism. So now I have both of those in my head somehow, Kim. So because I am so empathetic still, I can hear what people are thinking. I'm exaggerating when I say hear, but like I can feel like what they're feeling, right? I don't actually hear them. I was exaggerating, but I get what people are thinking, right? I get it. So I can easily put myself in their world. So if someone was, say, more authoritarian, I understand it. I know why they think what they think. I get it. So I can speak that way, if that makes any sense. I understand what they're talking about. I understand where they're coming from. So I can put myself in their shoes. Again, how am I able to predict so much? How do I know what people are going to say? How they're going to act? How do I know? Because I put myself in their shoes. I listen and I get it. So yes, anyway, hope that at least makes sense. Lula says, police use the power armor. Yes. Yes. Correct. All righty. See if I can go through here again. Okay, did that piece already. I grabbed that one. Shelly says it was the goatee that was goofy. That's actually funny. So I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do a show the other day. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, just keep going. I'll keep moving on. All right. All right. Let's see here. You guys going back and forth them yourselves. I appreciate that. Yes. All right. Matt says, I used to swim. I used to be in swim club in high school. I was eating like 5,000 calories a day and all pasta. I was still skinny as hell and 155 pounds. True. Again, carbs aren't bad by default. They're bad if you're not active, right? They're bad if you're not active. If you're active, carbs are wonderful. They are a great source of energy. True. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you 100%. Yes. Again, if I was, as active as I was as a Marine, I would probably eat more carbs because I could burn it off. That's the issue. So yeah. All righty. This is the issue. Most Americans simply aren't that active, Matt. You know that. Just aren't. Some are, but most aren't. That's the issue. Most aren't. All righty. All right. Literally says, has everyone been watching all the 8 to 10 minute videos and the shorts that come out of both Larry's YouTube channels? I hope you are. I hope you guys are watching them. Yes, please. I hope you are. Shelly says yes. Yay. Yay. We need more and more of those. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. All right. Grab some more if I can. Jean says, I don't drink coffee. I drink tea and eat dark chocolate. Dark chocolate's very good for you, Jean. And you know that though. But yeah, dark chocolate's good. And tea's also good for you too. I just prefer coffee. My kids drink a lot of tea. They drink tea at least once a day, if not twice a day. I happen to like coffee better. Kay John says, I dropped sauerkraut for kimchi. Yeah, kimchi is basically sauerkraut. They're similar. They're fermented foods. Very good for your gut health. I like it very much. Yes, absolutely. So, Liberty also Taekwondo. There we go. Yes, I was a red belt. I did not make black belt. I was red belt, which is, for those you know, it was right below. Oh, at least it was. I don't know if it still is. This is years ago. So yeah, that's it. I mean, right before, I never made black belt right below. I joined the Marine Corps before I could finish. I started it when I was in high school, and it takes, as you know, if you study X number of years to become a black belt. I left for the Marine Corps before I could become a black belt. So I never went back. When I was done, I just never went back. I kind of wish I had. Now I go back, I kind of wish I had done that. So, but I never did. So, all right. Gene says, so you like Deanna Troy. This is funny. The second I saw that Deanna Troy, because Deanna Troy was the in the Star Trek Next Generation, she was the counselor they put on, which was a terrible concept. I thought it was counselor. You shut up. How horrible is that? And then she was like an empath, and she could like read people. And I'm like, that's gonna go away immediately. Literally, the first show, I said that's going away immediately. And I was watching with my friend, and like, what? It's going away immediately. What do you mean? I said, you can't have an empath on a TV show. Every show is broken. Every show's broken. If you remember when she was like an empath, could read people's minds. And within like 3 episodes, she couldn't read anyone's mind. She was like, oh, I just have a feeling. That went away. Destroys. Like, what idiot writer thought, we'll put an empath who can read people's minds? The show's over. You can't have a plot. You can't have a plot. It's a sci-fi show. You can't have a plot with that. It's done. Then she was like, oh, I can't read these people. I can't read that. And since she stopped, yeah, it was dumb. The character was stupid. Should have never existed. I'm sorry, somebody like Deanna Troy. It should have gone away. No, the terrible character. Shouldn't have existed. No, gone. Should have. The rest of them, fine. She shouldn't have existed. I'm being bad. Anyway, Shan says maybe you should be an actor. Maybe that's my next. Someone told me I should be a stand-up comic. Someone told me that. I don't know. I don't think I'm that funny. But maybe if I can figure out, maybe I get a good writer. If I get a good comedic writer, and maybe I could I get a good writer, and then I could just like give the jokes. Maybe that's it. Mike Voss, a Trekkie also. Deanna Troy sucked. True. Yes. True. She was the worst character. Absolutely true. They should have got rid of her. 100%. Liberty says, I was the first woman black belt in my school with Taekwondo. Congrats. Nice. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. Liberty says, programming note, no show until Monday night. Yes. No Monday radio show for a couple of weeks. Correct. Yes. The next show after this one will be Monday evening. There'll be no radio show on Monday. I'm going to be out for like 4 days. I'm traveling to the West Coast. So yeah, it will be that way. There we go. Deanna says, empaths don't read minds. In Star Trek, they did. You're right. Actual empaths don't. True. But this was sci-fi. So yeah. But yes, Adrian, you're right. Actual ones don't. True. But this was, yeah, that was the thing. So anyway. So, all right. Anyway, want to make sure that was done. Guys, I'm going to ask you again to click the button known as like. I do all the time. I know I do. I ask you all the time. Please click the button known as like. I keep bugging you for it because it does matter. We want this to grow. Let it grow. Please repost this or share this someplace. It does matter. Absolutely. Please do so. I know I bug you all the time. Please do it. Over on Peace, he says, question to self. Can you remain in ketosis if you burn off the sugar you ate from the exercise you do during the day? Do you know the answer, Larry? Yes, you can. You can. You have to burn immediately. Yes. If you burn it immediately, yes. You don't want to get it to sit in your liver, right? In your liver? It's liver, right? It's liver. You don't want to sit there. Yes. You do not want that. Yes. If it sits there, that's when you stop burning fat. You want to make sure you're burning everything from ketosis. You can. It is possible. Yes. So hope that makes sense. So last thing I want to bring up is I've asked you in the past to share. I've asked you to like. I'm also going to ask you the last thing if I could. You know the algorithm. You know it, the algorithm. You know it. After this is over, please comment. After the live is over, wherever you are, comment. Algo loves that. Please do so. I'm asking you if you would comment on what do you think about RFK Jr. The show's been about RFK Jr. MAHA. What do you think? Is it working? Is it not working? What do you think about it? Please do that if you could. Check out, put it if you would. And if you're watching this over the weekend or something, it's not live, you can see 2 videos pop up right here. Please watch one of them immediately for like 8 or 10 minutes. Algo loves that too. I will see you all very soon.